That's a really good question, Cade.
More shenanigans, probably.
Probably some shenanigans. Alright, let me go ahead and make sure.
They changed like the toolbar and stuff, and it looks nice. It's just different.
Yeah. I really like
But
the
now I can go.
Circle!
Yeah. This map, obviously, not to scale.
Not to scale.
Obviously.
I was actually testing it on some other maps earlier, and it's so nice. Oh my god.
Yeah.
You guys want to really cool here. So, let's go back to...
Ooh, degree.
I haven't actually heard Ken yet, so I just want to give him time, just in case. So if we go back to the Goblinopolis map, and we want... Because this one was to scale. We want to see...
Yeah.
Oh, here's the Goblin Dragon.
Right, what was that 90-foot cone he had?
Yeah. So you can go in, do a cone, snap to center, left to height, then you do it from the outside of it.
From like...
Yes, that was a cone of goblins, just
like here or something.
Yeah, I usually try to get it from the edge of the circle, but it's really like... The game uses Warhammer mini rules where you measure from the edge of the base. So it's really in something like this, you're measuring from the very edge of the token, which doesn't always line up in these ones. But that's why there's a little bit of like, all right, this last square is kind of half in, half out. Give me a dex save with advantage because you're just at the, the edge of it type thing.
You might get bombarded by goblins, but maybe not.
You might not. They might just fall down in front of you. Oops. Didn't mean to go there. Alright. You there, Ken?
You're muted, Ken.
I am indeed muted.
What you hear?
Alright. Well, go ahead and pick up tonight's game where we had left off last session, starting off our game within the ruins of Goblinopolis. The thunderstorm cast by Takashi still crackling and roaring around you.
Goblin octopus. What?
Goblinopolis.
We were in town.
No, you started in Goblinopolis at the beginning of last game.
Yep.
Well, okay. Continue.
Yeah.
Ignore me. It just confused me.
Yeah, I know. Goblinopolis was the name of the city that they called the camp, the Goblin camp.
Yeah.
That's what I'm referring to it as, because I have...
Figure out how to fucking get rid of that goop and then give up.
Yep, you guys spent quite a bit of time investigating the strange ooze, performing experimentations on them, dropping dead creatures, living creatures, yourselves somewhat into them. Aerith secured a small sample and attached it to feathers to send back to the guild hall. Unfortunately, it arrived only an hour or two before you guys did because he had to fly. And I had forgotten, and I feel bad. But, you guys opted to spend that night out in the woods, sleeping aboard the Starlight Dragon out in the wilds, deciding not to fly back to the city in the middle of the night, as night had fully encompassed the Sword Coast. It was a peaceful night, just the sounds of wildlife and wind in the trees. It's been beautiful weather here in the middle spring, southern the Sword Coast, according to Ken's rolls each day, and nothing accosted you that night. There was a vulture who gave you guys some fucking shade because you dipped it into some goopy ooze and made it a little older than it used to be and gave it cataracts. But aside from that, it was just a peaceful night. You woke the next morning, performed your morning rituals, your training, and then flew the ship back to Erebor. Oni had used his portable hull to secure a plethora of goblin corpses to use as proof of your completed deed, as well as the head of the Hobgoblin Warlord that you had been requested to bring back as proof. You guys arrived back in Erebor early afternoon, landing at the guild hall and heading back to speak to Hadrian, only to find out that he had left, taking his trusty greatsword with him and being sent to Baldur's Gate to assist your mutual acquaintance. He left Emmeline in charge of the guild hall and set off on an impromptu adventure. You had Emmeline reach out to him just to make sure that he was okay, and offered your aid if he needed it, but he had told her that he was fine, that they were okay, and that if they needed help, they'd ask. Emmeline, in performing her guildly duties, verified that your job was completed, authorized the payment of the 6,000 gold pieces to the Wanderers of Starlight, which was then added to your guild fund, and then you talked her into spending some of that guild money of her own. Well, you didn't really talk her into spending it. You convinced her that it would be wise for her to have the ability to check in on Dad from time to time, because Jaeger. You took her with you to Manon's, where Aerith was also heading to attempt to repair the mirror of the past that had been shattered by Mia that morning? Day before?
The day
Day before, I
before.
think.
Before.
Because it was before we left for Goblin. Goblintopia.
Goblintopia. Takashi and Oni accompanying two of you, and Ken staying behind to work with Sid on the Platinum Gate, as well as just to relax in the presence and comfort of his mentor. You guys got to Manon's. Immediately, Mia became enthralled by the plethora of random magical bric-a-brac that was there, and with her newfound understanding of money and the exchange of money for goods and services, which is just becoming a meme across all our games now. She was able to get herself a pile of very strange magical items. Aerith attempted to have Manon repair the Mirror of the Past, but being ancient in nature, in this old Ullman enchantment, he did not believe it would be possible to restore the enchantment to its previous strength. At most, a small window might be able to be opened into the brief past, but nothing substantial. Nothing as substantial as the Mirror of the Past previously held. Somewhat dismayed, but not discouraged entirely, Aerith scooped up the shards of the mirror and then headed to the library to perform his research, delving his mind into his most beloved hobby, the arcane. The four of you, having secured your pile of magic crap, as well as a magic mirror focus for Emmeline, as well as a scroll of scrying. It's not. It's going to make my life terrible, but it's basically...
You allowed it.
Oh, I did hilarious. You headed out into the city and found a nice, coffee house that Emmeline had known about in the northwestern district here in Eriabor, where you had a conversation in regards to Mia's past and those that might be able to offer insight. The subject turned to the gods and the Raven Queen, who has an affinity to memories in the past that Oni would have known about through his... Oh god, eschatological? Is that the eschatological?
Archaeological?
Well, I know archaeological, but I think like eschatological is like history of religion. Yeah.
Theological.
Yeah. There's a word for it that I half know.
Study of ancient gods.
Study.
Eschatology, the doctrine of the last things. I guess that's like the study of the Bible. But anyway,
Sure.
through his training and studies,
Heart
would have
of
known
theology.
of Raven Queen's affinity to memories, and so you headed across the city to the Raven Queen's temple, entering into this cold, cool, solemn, dark space. You were approached by a priestess of the Raven Queen, who offered her services in exchange for a donation to the church. You donated 50 platinum pieces, which was more than enough to secure her services of a commune spell, granting you 3 questions to ask the Raven Queen. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to listen to the video or write down the questions specifically. So, I know the answers were roughly that she had no insight into the memories of Mia or her past. That there was no history of the world prior to what Mia knew in this form that she's in. As you delved deeper, you found that the Raven Queen unfortunately didn't have the answers you sought, as Mia, this strange, ephemeral woman, seems to have existed outside of her purview. You left the Queen's Temple and stepped out into the street, the sunlight, and began to head across the city towards the library, where you know Aerith puts up shop and hangs out most of the day, to get his aid on any insights. And while doing so, you began to inspect the various objects and items that Mia came into existence with, or showed up with, or was born with, or whatever. In understanding them, you found them to be powerful and ancient in design, as well as littered with small celestial embroidered scriptures that, as you read them, shimmered and shined gently. These small phrases piecemealed here and there across Mia's equipment. And that was, I think, where we left off.
Am I the only one that still sees me as Cone?
I see it too.
Okay.
What did you do, Mia?
I don't see it, so I don't know.
Yep, it's moving around now.
Mhm.
Oh no. It's like hooked to my.
There it goes.
Hold on. Okay, hold on. Is it gone now?
Yes.
It was gone now.
Okay.
I was
It
just
was
like,
like
is it a
clicking
visual
on
glitch on my end? Like, what?
It was very
Yeah.
strange.
Like the thing was gone, but then when I clicked back onto the map, it like came back up with the measurement tool. It's like,
Say it's about 3:30 in the afternoon. Unfortunately, Kyle won't be able to join us tonight, so Takashi will be relatively unengaging. But if you guys have questions or tasks for him, you can answer as best as I can. But I
we
just
could like,
long for
yeah.
him.
I mean, we could send him back to the guild, I guess, to like do some more research on the stuff that we figured out.
Sure.
But
If you'd like, or to assist Ken, or I mean, my always go-to is that he would just go and meditate. But if you want him to follow with you, I guess I will leave it up to the party. What do you guys think Takashi would do?
I mean, what are we trying to do? Because did we have anything else? When we asked all the questions, that was basically all we had on the docket for the day. A session,
Yeah.
right? Like,
I think
I
so.
feel like we had like kind of maybe we were gonna talk to like Aerith about the magical aspect of it, but I'm not entirely sure if
Aerith and Ken, because you guys were just
Yeah.
loaded with magical information, and you
right.
and Takashi were just like, what?
Yeah,
Very
'cause, I mean, you
insightful.
guys, you know the religion like side of it, but I guess I don't really know exactly what we were gonna ask you. I don't remember.
Quick, pull up the video.
I don't have time for that.
Too bad I just did 15 minutes of recap, so take all the time you guys need to do. Because like I said, I had remembered that you were heading to Aerith. Aerith, you have spent the day in research and in spellcraft, and have finally managed to create your Magnify Gravity spell. Ken made excellent progress on the Platinum Gate. He's also back at the guild hall, so I think we kind of just left it off where you guys were, I think, heading to the library, but you can do whatever you guys want.
well, so I know we had talked about, because we talked about the stuff with like the religious aspect of it, but because it's so tied in magic, and then both Oni and Takashi are non-magical users.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know the specifics of what we were gonna like talk about. But we could go, yeah, I guess find Aerith and like at least show him the items and the inscriptions, I guess. See what he thinks.
The only thing I remembered was setting up that meeting with 2 of the 3 because we couldn't convince the tattoo chick without going to talk to her
Right, we
to
do.
come to that dinner.
We do also need to talk to Lorena about accepting our deal for dinner, because we were going to talk to all 3 of them or have them in the same room so I could see them all at once.
Right, that's what you were gonna do. Okay. All right, then it's up to you. Where do you guys want to go? Talk to Aerith first, or head to Lorena's? They're both. I mean, the library is about like 5 to 10 blocks away from the Colors of Magic. They're both in that same like central district.
I mean, we should probably go get Aerith first, because I also, out of all of us, he not well, but he would know Lorena better than any of the rest of us.
I'm just thinking that too. I'm not
Kind of the only people that he hasn't really met that much.
I mean, Emmeline knows her because she got the one tattoo.
Yeah.
But I don't even. I think
And so
Emmeline
did-
like met her when you introduced her, and then Emmeline got the tattoo from.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, is like the 2 people who had worked with her the most were Rose and Eodos.
Mm-hmm.
And they're gone.
Oh,
But
God.
maybe Aerith could help us. I can always go and ask nicely, but she doesn't know who the fuck I am. So I guess we'll go get Aerith first.
Okay. As Emmeline, do you want me to come with you, or would this be a good time for me to go and get this into my spell book so that I could try just checking on Dad?
I mean, if you're busy, like, you could go whenever you want, but if you want to come hang out with us, it's always nice to have you around.
Let me decide for her.
She's hitting on you. Again.
Kind of like. I'm sure he'll be fine. Okay. All right, let's go find Aerith. She kind of just like scurries into the street, heading down towards the.
I know what a library is now.
I'll leave Takashi with you guys. That way, if you have any questions for him. The 4 of you cross the city. By the time you get to the library, it's about 5 in the evening. It does take time, especially walking through a city this size, through the streets. You guys can run it faster, but
Walking the streets like peasants.
right.
The carriage.
Fly through the air and just draw attention to yourselves. But as you arrive, the late spring day, warming the city streets and the sounds of bustling infrastructure around you, you step into the large atrium of the library. The young gnome girl, late teens, early 20s, sitting behind the counter, looks up at the 4 of you and smiles. Oh, welcome. She kind of like points at Mia. You were here like 2 days ago, right?
Yeah, she made everybody mad because she kept yelling.
You made some of the patrons mad. I don't think
I
you
made
made this girl
one
mad.
people
Yeah.
mad.
She kind of like waves and goes, "Welcome back. Are you here to join your friend?"
Where's Aerith?
Yes. I think he said he was going back to the arcane research wing or something. He said it very brusquely as he walked on by this morning.
Was that where he was last time?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah, that was where he was.
That way.
Yes. Yeah. Emily knows the way, leading the 4 of you through the library. You walk into a very large room lined with books. Some of the bookcases chained and locked up. Large tables in the center, like 4 of them kind of spread apart. These long rectangular tables, and Aerith is sitting at one with a mess of crumpled up parchments, probably 2 broken quills, and big stacks of books everywhere, and just is kind of like scratching his head. And as you come in, there's a look on his face of Eureka.
Aerith, we're here. And she just like steps up on her tiptoes and like waves. Aerith,
What?
we came to come get you. She'll walk over to you. Just, what are you doing?
Well, you know, discovering a new spell. Or making one.
Really? What do you mean, new spell?
Well, maybe not new. Been around for a while, but, hasn't really been practiced.
And what is it?
Has to do with gravity.
Okay. In what way?
You know, making things heavier than they usually are.
Okay.
What was it that you needed to get me for?
Right, okay. So we talked to the bird lady, and she didn't know what was going on, which wasn't super helpful. But then we were talking and trying to figure stuff out, and there was stuff on my clothes, I think, and then the others don't know a lot about magic, so they said that you would know.
Okay. What exactly did you need me to do?
I don't know.
I look towards Oni and Takashi.
Takashi just shrugs.
All we know is she's got quotes from Mistra on items.
Which items?
Here. I'll hand you my staff and the blood vial. And they said don't take off my clothes, so I'll have to wear those while you look at those.
Yeah, we know the cloak for sure is a Mistra quote. The other 2, maybe not. I just the one that was on the cloak out of character. I remembered whenever I was reading about the gods that was one of hers. So for sure the cloak is definitely in regards to her.
That was the Lady of Might, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll hand those to Aerith to look at.
Aerith, roll
Yes.
me an investigation check at advantage.
Advantage.
Okay, 29, and then roll me a religion check.
At advantage? Okay.
Yeah.
Ha!
And okay, so as you start to look over what do you look at first, the staff or the vial?
I'll look at the vial.
Okay. You take a look at the vial, and let's see.
As I revile. Sorry.
You've seen these before. Nothing this intricate or ornate, but similar things. Manon sells basic versions of a Bloodwell vial. They're empty normally when you buy them, but you've seen the kind of design, the innate arcane inscriptions written around the vial itself and in the metalwork that kind of binds it all together. As you look at this one, it is far more intricate and like detailed than any you've previously seen. You kind of like study the inscriptions, and some of them are draconic, and some of them are celestial. There's even
I think I have both.
yeah.
I do.
There's even a little bit. Do you have primordial?
I do.
There's even a little bit of primordial that kind of just like is woven into it. It's hard to find. I mean, you guys are rolling really ridiculously well investigation checks. So these aren't. It's not like she's walking around with Lady of Might stitched on her chest like a t-shirt. This is like, as you look at the various thread work, the threads themselves almost seem to have these small runes and sigils on them. Not really in them, but kind of just like resting on it. Like somebody took a bag of flour and just all over, and the flour just fell down and coated it. Except it's these weird inscriptions. Let's see. You find on the vial at one point, it kind of ebbs and flows. They shimmer with that light of the arcane, of energy. And as you're studying it, you see one phrase kind of pop up. This world is my domain. But then it drifts back into like the background of the thread work of the artifact. In the Bloodwell vial itself, specifically, it's not the threads themselves, but like the tiny, tiny little solder-like pieces of metal that wrap around this glass vial. And as you look at the vial itself, the blood looks like normal blood, but there's a light, an almost ultraviolet light in the very center of it. But unfortunately, the phrases that you find and the nature of the vial don't ring any bells.
I'll cast Identify on it. Maybe it'll pop up more info.
I think Emmeline did identify them. It is a Bloodwell vial. Nothing beyond I think it's a +2, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Nothing beyond that innate aspect of it. It doesn't reveal the nature of what's in it, but it does reveal, how it works. That in order to attune to it, you have to put your blood into it, and that it increases the potency of casting, as well as enabling you to recover sorcery points throughout the day.
Then I will look at the staff, right?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see. Man, you rolled a 5 and a 6. Only one more religion check at disadvantage this time.
Oh,
I know.
but poor Quay.
Because you rolled a 5 and a 6.
Oh, there's a 16.
I mean, I was gonna either do it as just a flat roll or disadvantage. So okay. On the staff, it's got that same kind of dusted in magic look, like it's coated in something as you study it and engage it.
Give you a D4.
A D4?
Yes.
Okay, roll me a D4.
On brand. On brand.
On brand. The woodwork of the staff, it's this beautiful lacquered oak wooden staff, deep mahogany, like brown colored lacquer on it, that has these large draconic runes engraved in a kind of helix-like twisting spiral up the center of the shaft before it comes to the tip of the staff, where there's a crystalline gem inlaid in a metal kind of housing. Looking at it, you study it for those same minuscule, tiny, almost imperceptible engravings, and you can find them there too, kind of doing that same, it's almost like the words themselves are breathing. They ebb and flow in and out of perceptivity. You find the phrase, let's see, wherever magic is worked, there I am, but unfortunately, not sure where the meaning might come from.
I'm writing these down, by the way.
In your special book.
In my special book.
Okay. Alrighty.
Agma's like, what the fuck do you want? Leave me alone.
Roll
I'm
me
writing weird poetry.
a charisma check.
Me? Oh.
Yeah.
I'm somewhat good at those.
I believe in you.
Click. Delete.
Nice.
Okay. You copy the engravings, the inscriptions you can find off of the staff, the Bloodwell vial, and the robes. They sound doctrinal in nature. Like, they sound like something you would hear that like, you know, I am the Lady of Might, you know, like, you know, wherever magic. It all sounds very
High and mighty.
yeah,
A
yeah,
little bit.
but you don't recognize where it might come from. Doesn't ring any bells, unfortunately.
Okay. I mean, nothing really pops out for me for this. Were there any specific ideas? I mean, we are in a library. We could look something up.
Look it up. I mean, just that you might know more on the magical side, I guess. But we could look in books. Do they have books about the gods?
Well, yeah, stories, mythology, all that stuff. Theology.
Oh
Would that
Books.
help?
I mean, it'll give us some information, at least. So, any particular deity or religion?
Is there one about all of them?
Why all of them?
Because I don't know which one it is.
I mean, you could, like, base it on the leads we have currently and start with Mistra pretty conclusively. If you wanted to,
Right,
you know,
Oni said that the magic one would be a good start.
Alright, then let's do the magic one. And I'll search for any books about Mistra.
Okay.
Maestra.
So, packing up your workstation and returning the books to their appropriate places because you're a sage and you can treat a library respectfully. You guys assist Aerith for heading towards the religious studies wing of the library. Aerith, roll me an investigation with advantage from your sage background, and then the rest of you can roll me investigation, or one of you could roll it with advantage.
Can Mia just look for the one that looks like the most fun? Probably like a picture book or something.
God damn it.
You're gonna roll that natural 20.
Pretty colors.
Ooh.
It's a 16.
what
Close.
does nobody have in
Go-
I know
investigation?
his is pretty high.
His
Yeah.
perception is high. I don't know about his investigation.
It's true.
He's
not
got
very
the
intelligent.
same as M. They both have 5s.
It's not bad.
Yeah, I'll give
Not
him
great,
advantage
but-
then, because I don't have proficiency in investigation.
Okay, so M will roll with advantage. All right, she rolled a 21 because I rolled that
Okay.
DM by accident.
Eh.
Okay.
And 22.
Okay. Alrighty. Let's see. Okay. Mia, you find your picture book. It's probably one of the easier ones to find here in this section of the library. It's not for children per se, but it's a acolyte's introduction to the deities of the Sword Coast, Faerun, and beyond. It does have images, but it has a lot of words too. but you can read, so it's not
Yeah.
too
She
overwhelming.
just wants something that looks fun.
Yeah. You just start like flipping through the pages to I don't know, familiarize yourself with the deities of the pantheon
A
here.
is for Akadi and Oral.
Aerith, you grab a handful of books regarding Mistress followers, churches and belief structures, things like that that she set up and begin setting to work. Takashi and
Oni.
Emmeline. Well, yeah, Takashi and Oni. Well, Oni and Emmeline were working together. Takashi kind of just like walks over and grabs. It looks just like a small leather-bound journal, honestly. And just takes it back to his seat where he could sit down and just lean back and starts flipping through it. Oni, you assist. I'm sorry, I have a grape skin in my teeth. I'm trying to get it out. There we go. You assist Emmeline in narrowing down some of the more heady books, looking specifically into. Let's see. What would be the specifics here? Possible writings, probably, like doctrines and scriptures passed it down. You and Takashi both find it in two different places at the same time, and as you're reading it, the words are very familiar, and I'm going to just go ahead and read it to you guys right now. You find this paragraph. I am Mistra. I am the Lady of Might and the Mistress of Magic. I am power incarnate. Wherever magic is worked, there I am. From the cold poles of Toril to its hottest jungles, whatever the hand or claw that works the sorcery, behold me and fear me. Yet behold me and love me, as all who deal with me in honesty do. This world is my domain. I am magic, mightiest among all those men worship. I am the one true spell at the heart of all spells. There is no other. You recognize the phrases, as you have read a few of them here and there on the equipment that Mia is wearing. It is attributed to a... It's not a letter, because, like, she doesn't send letters, but it was like a message passed down through the weave itself to one of her oldest followers. A man just listed here as taken from the archives of N. Flamel. It was a letter that had been written and seems to have been written almost 1400 years ago, near the beginning of history. And there are historical insights written within the book that Emmeline and Oni are looking in. The one you guys are looking in is kind of like a historical study of these writings and messages, and it seems to be kind of like a... The belief is that this was Mistra's attempt to introduce herself to the world through a loyal follower. Takashi actually has like a notebook written from a scholar's point of view, who had found the letter tucked away in an archive up in Waterdeep years and years ago, and that was where he had transcribed it from. But you both have two separate accounts that have that. Go ahead and drop it in here. Since I know it's sometimes hard to get all the words when I'm speaking it.
Maester.
Would I know who N. Flamel is, or an idea?
No.
No.
There's no role that will reveal who that might be.
Out of character we know, but in character we got no fucking clue.
Yup.
Some weirdo.
Just some weirdo.
Some weird ass bitch.
What does my picture book say under Mistra, I guess? Because she's the magic one.
Probably something about how just super humble she is, huh?
Oh yeah.
She's something, isn't she? Let's see.
She knows what she's about.
Yup.
Right?
Trying to find, because it's like a children's rhyme about God, I'd have to like make it up. I don't see anything here in the moment. It speaks of her in a. It doesn't make her seem like she'd be somebody that would be super friendly or cool to hang out with a lot. She is very intense. The way that it's written is that she is extremely intense. She's kind of like it lists her almost like a school teacher, like that kind of, I'm here to help you learn and help you expand and explore, but I'm also here to guide and contain so that you don't hurt others or yourself. There's a big air of superiority in the way that she's portrayed in a lot of common media and like the texts and things. This one, it all boils down to about four lines that kind of come out as like it iterates that she was born at the beginning of time, or at least as far as history can remember. That she guides, controls, and channels the weave. That she is magic, and that those who stand or I guess it really wouldn't even really say anything about that because it's a child's book.
She is magical.
Yeah, it's really. It has a beautiful, like a illustration of a beautiful young girl, and that's more like what catches your attention than anything else. Is just these really intricate, beautiful illustrations of the gods, and understanding like what they look like. Roll me an insight check.
Insight.
As you look at it, you find yourself like just like running your fingers along the imagery. There's something familiar, but you look at her and you know it's not you. Deep down, you know that whoever this isn't you. You're you.
I'm me.
And you read these words that she protects and guides and guards and, doesn't, I mean, you protect and you help, but you wouldn't guide or guard or control or contain or anything like that. Doesn't seem like Mia.
I wouldn't be mean. Magic is fun. I guess while they're still reading stuff and she finds that, and can she just put the book in her bag? Or, yeah, put the book in her bag.
Roll me a sleight of hand check, Aerith. What's your passive perception?
Not as high. 17. That is pretty high.
Oh, fuck. You are unfortunately completely enthralled at the moment in your pile of books. Unfortunately, you find a lot of information on like the domain of Mistra, how worshippers would perform rituals to gain favor from Mistra. There's a lot of things in the books you find about God, it's like there's a specific aspect of it that I'm trying to figure out how to phrase. She's like... God.
Take your time.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a good... Okay, so it's like when your parents are trying to teach you something dangerous, okay? They know that it's inherently somewhat dangerous, like even something like rock climbing. They know that that could be dangerous, and so they put limitations. They instill these kind of safeguards into the training so that
You don't die.
you don't die. There's a lot of writing about that being Mistra's prime focus, is controlling the power of the weave so that mortals can live in harmony with magic without it destroying itself or them.
What's the worst that could happen?
Right?
But as the night winds on, unfortunately you do not see Mia, let's see, put away the
Only does, but
children's
doesn't
book.
say a word.
It's true. Actually, does Takashi? Ooh. He would have. He would have.
Would he
but
say anything?
You know, would Takashi... Nobody doesn't care, but would Takashi, I guess.
You mean Oni doesn't care?
I don't know. Ken, what's your input? You've been
I think-
listening and quiet.
Talking about just in general, or helping decide if nobody would call out Mia on this bullshit.
First the latter, then the former.
Nobody told her you can't take the books from the library.
Aerith would if he saw you.
I think Takashi would pipe up if he saw it.
As you slide it away, Takashi will kind of like look over out of the book that he's reading through at the moment with Emily. Or no, he's actually reading through his own journal. Looks over at you and goes, you're not supposed to take those with you. They're for the library.
But I want to read it.
What are
Kinda
you
like
trying to take?
I'm just gonna take the book with me. We don't have time to finish it right now, so I'm gonna take it
Hold
with
on,
me
hold
this
on,
night.
hold on. You can take it with
Do
you,
you have a
but you
library
can't
card?
just put it in your bag and take it with you. You need to go back
Why
to
not?
the front desk so you can check it out.
But I already have it.
Well, I understand that, but there are rules in the library, Mia. And the book
Well,
doesn't
that's
belong
annoying.
to you, it belongs to the library.
I'll give it back.
Hence why you need to let the librarian know. It's kind of
So,
like a
just
contract or an agreement. You ask to borrow the book, they will say yes, and then you can take it home.
Well, if they're gonna say yes, then why do I have to ask?
So that they
Because if
know
you
that
don't
it's
return
out
it,
of
they
the
know who to
library.
come after.
Exactly.
But I will return it.
We understand that. But still.
There are people who wouldn't, so the system exists so that, you know, if someone with bad intentions were to take a book without the intention to return it, they can track down who did it.
Okay. I'll be right back. And she'll go walk back to the person we first talked to.
Okay. As you walk through the library, your footsteps softly echoing down the hall, you head back to the main atrium, and the small gnomish girl is sitting behind the counter and looks up to you and sees the picture book that you have there in your arms. And it's not a big book. It's about the size of like a normal piece of paper, like 8.5 by 11, but it's only like a 1/4 of an inch thick with a hardcover case. It's only, like 2 pages per deity, so maybe like 50 pages total. And as you approach, she smiles and goes, "Oh, did you find something that piqued your interest?"
Yeah, I don't have time to finish this right now, so they said tell you that I'm going to take it and I will bring it back.
Roll me a persuasion check really quick. As she looks at the child book in your arms, and you say that you don't have time to finish it right now, and she gives you the most, like, gentlest,
Jesus.
sweetest of smiles. She goes, "Oh, that'll be fine. Here, let me see that for just 1 second." She takes the book from you, and she opens it to the back where there's this small little, like, glyph that she puts a sheet of paper over. You see the glyph, like, copy onto the other small piece of parchment. "I just need to get your name."
Mia.
Okay. And is there a surname, or where could we find you if we need to reach out to you?
I don't know.
Where are you staying? Where do you live?
With my friends.
She kind of like blinks. Okay. What's do you know what the street's called?
Oh, that one over there? And she kind of points in a direction.
She just puts up one finger, one moment. Oh, 1 second. Let's see.
Just show him the boobs tag.
No one told her what that's for. She was just given it.
Aerith, a few moments pass, probably about 5 or 10 minutes after Mia leaves, and as you quietly find yourself diving into your books once again, your concentration is interrupted by a small gnome voice in your mind. Your friend is at the counter attempting to check out a book. Could you assist?
Oh boy. I'll get up, gather my things, and then head over.
Okay. Mia, you were asked to wait for about 5 minutes or so while Aerith moves through the library
Yeah.
and gets down to the
Well-
front counter.
While we wait, she'll just be like, "Do you know anything about Mistra? We're supposed to be looking about her. Because she is magic."
She is. Let's see. What do I know? She kind of like sits back, and, like thumbs her chin a bit. Well, I know that. Well, obviously she gives us magic. She's the one who controls it and distributes it. I know that there was a different god. Oh, she kind of like starts like, was it Mistril, Mistrin, Mistrava? Oh, I can't. Mistra's not really the first of the gods of magic. What I know, because I rolled a 21, is that she let's see. She was reborn in an effort to help us from destroying ourselves. I think that was what I read. Something about that.
Doesn't seem good.
No, the previous, the old civilizations, before, we're talking like 1500, 2000 years ago. Old civilizations. Before we started to keep track of the years, they had powerful magic. Such powerful magic that it began to even challenge the gods. I mean, you know of the Raven Queen, right?
She does stuff with memories.
She does. She is. She does have an affinity towards memories.
She
I don't
couldn't tell
know
me where I'm from,
as
though.
much about her, but I do know that she supposedly was mortal, like you and me, at one point, and using this higher echelon of magic managed to ascend to being a god. That has started a whole thing, and from what I've studied, scholars believe that that's what caused history to be forgotten and us to lose decades, centuries, maybe millennia. Who knows how long everything was down, everything was fighting, everything was just death and chaos, and magic ceased working, and then it worked again. And the spell plague came to an end, and there were limitations on magic. And then Mistra. And that's about what I know as far as her history. Why?
That seems like a lot. Well, my friends think that has something to do with me, but I don't. I mean, I wouldn't be mean like that. I want to help people, not prevent them from doing things.
Meredith, you walk in as you hear Mia saying this, looking down at this young gnome girl who's kind of like looking at her and tilting her head sideways. Well, I mean, you obviously radiate with magic. Maybe you were like a champion? I've read about that before, that the gods sometimes choose people, just like random, either adventurers or people that were just like, like me, and then they kind of bestow upon them a fragment of power, and I mean, you
Do you
definitely
think
have.
that she would choose someone who doesn't know who she is?
Maybe you forgot who you are because she chose you.
Or it's the ultimate test and you need to discover who you are.
Yes. Oh,
Well,
there you are. Sorry, I didn't see you.
but I don't know her either. Like, how could I help her if I don't know her?
Well, that's what we're here to find out.
Yes. Okay, so we are checking out
I'm gonna take this book
this book.
and then bring it back later.
So I have garnered that her name is Mia, and she's like looking over at Aerith now, like full eye contact with Aerith. Where are you staying? Or does Mia have a surname that we could use?
No surname, but with the Adventurers Guild, and I show the tag.
Like, okay, so you're with the Guardians, Sword Coast, and is the Iriabor branch your home branch, or are you just visiting this library today? I see you here all the time, so I'm pretty sure.
It's our home branch.
Gotcha. Okay, she writes that down. Quill scribbles, and she kind of like folds it, or she doesn't fold it. She takes this like sand, dusts the sand over it, and dries the ink. Okay, all right, we've got this. Feel free to return it at any time. We have extra copies of these more commonly read literatures. If, say, we haven't heard back from you in about 6 months, we'll reach out to the guild hall and see what they have to say, but enjoy, okay?
I hope we'll be back by then.
I hope you can finish it by then. It should help get you some insight into the deities that watch over all of us.
They seem really complicated, and I don't really get it, but they are stronger than regular people?
Yes. She looks at Aerith, kind of like
They're special
raises
people.
an eyebrow, like, does she not? Okay. Is there anything else that I could assist you guys with?
Maybe a couple of my other friends might ask to take out a journal.
Okay. Well, the more I'd have to take a look at the books. We keep some backup copies. The hand journals aren't as. It shouldn't be a problem. Kind of like tilts her head back and forth, like scrunches up her face a little bit. Just let me know whenever you guys are ready, and we can take a look.
Got it.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else you guys are looking for, or anything else you guys want to do here in the library tonight?
Nothing. I got plans.
Not really.
I guess at that point, Mia might leave and go back to the guild hall to maybe go look for Ken.
Alright, so you take your book and head back to the guild hall. Aerith, are you heading back to do research? Finish your...
Yeah, probably.
Alright. Okay. As you come back, and Emmeline, everybody's still reading till... Okay.
Mia got bored, so she left.
Yeah. you hold your new picture book to your chest and walk proudly through the streets. Roll me a investigation check. Find your way home.
And remember what guild hall is. Probably not.
Okay.
See?
It takes about another hour and a half. It's getting to be dusk by the time you get back to the guild hall. You take a little bit more of a circuitous route than necessary, but you do manage to get back there without getting lost, and head in to find Ken and Sid hard at work, actually at this point probably in the cafeteria. Their technical diagrams and notes kind of strewn about on the cafeteria table in front of them, each of them with a half-eaten plate of food and a goblet of, or not a goblet, but like a stein of something foamy and tasty looking, and they are just kind of like talking softly to each other, and going over...
Question: did we want to, or like when we talked to Manon and Erodi, did we make plans for this night dinner or tomorrow night?
I can't remember. Tomorrow night?
'Cause-
I think it was tomorrow night.
Yeah, I think it was tomorrow night.
Okay. And like it's late, but not like, is it shops closed late or?
It's about 6:30-ish. So shops would be closing soon. If you left now, you could get to either one as they're closing.
Okay. Then I guess Mia would hurry and just hurry over to Ken.
Okay.
Ken,
Yes.
hi. Takshi said that I guess if I were to ask anybody, like you and Aerith would know Lorena, we need to go ask her if she wants to have dinner with us tomorrow.
Weird request, but sure, okay. Kind of like look around and like check the time, and like, oh, it is later than I thought.
Yes, which is why.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna hurry. Give me a sec, Sid. I'll be right back. Go see what she's wanting to do. Yeah, just make sure all these technical documents is safe and secured, and then we'll try to grind the gears again tomorrow to see if we can expand on it.
Got it. I'll finish diagramming out everything we were just talking about with the amount of circuitry involved in the folding of space-time. Hopefully it makes sense when I'm done, but I'll let you take a look at it when you get back in a couple hours, and you can give me the thumbs up or thumbs down, and then we'll go from there.
All right, sounds good.
Perfect.
All right, let's go.
Okay,
Kiddos,
let's go.
come on. We're going on a little quick trip.
They scurry. Go ahead.
No, it's just she takes Ken by the arm and starts running.
You drag Ken out of the cafeteria in the guild hall. His pack of small draconic
Children.
yeah, I was trying to think of a different word, but that's a very appropriate one. Scurrying after you in a clatter of claws on hard wooden floor. You guys...
We tried to reach out to her and the rest of them, Manon and Erodi, and Manon and Erodi said yes. Lorena didn't really know who we were. So she said, I don't know if she said no or she just said, "Who are you?" and don't bother me.
Yeah, I can't exactly remember. I think it's kind of a like, I don't even know who you are.
Right? So if you go and ask, and she knows you,
Okay, all right. Well, let me see what I can do then.
because Oni said that maybe if we had all of them together, I could see them all and see if there was anything similarly weird about them. Why I know their names? Because just looking at them separately, like I don't really know.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I guess let us be off. Let's see if we can't assist in this endeavor.
Right.
I don't know where we're going.
Well, Ken knows where you're going. Roll me a dexterity check, both of you guys.
Dexterity check.
Okay. You hurry through the city streets, which are getting busier as the day comes to a close, and people are heading out to either, go about their nightly business or heading home for the day. You push down back into the central tier of the city and head for the Colors of Magic. As you arrive, you can see as the dwarven tattoo artist Tad is kind of like stepping out of the door, closes it behind him and looks up at you and kind of like tilts his head sideways at me and then sees Ken and smiles. And, oh, lad, we're actually just closing up, so if you're looking to have work done on your tattoo, we're not going to be able to do that today, but if you come by in the morning, I'm sure Miss Lorena would be able to take a look.
This is not a work call. This is actually a social call. Is Lorena still in, by chance?
Oh, yeah, she doesn't leave until, she's still in there. As long as you're not looking to get anything done today, shouldn't be a problem.
Nah.
He kind of like stands up a little bit straighter and adjusts a bag that he's got strapped over one shoulder and goes, right, well, I'm heading home. Good luck. Have fun.
Alright.
Good seeing you.
All right, take care. Likewise. All right, let me go
Bye.
ahead and go inside and peek in.
You head through the door, and you can see Lorena is kind of like, she's got a few stacks of platinum coins that she's just sort of like counting quickly and then pushing off to a side at the front counter. And as the door opens, she kind of looks up and goes, I'm sorry, but we're not... Oh, Ken, welcome back. Haven't seen you in a while. Unfortunately, I'm just about to head home for the day. What can I help you with?
This is actually a social call,
Oh,
believe it or not. We would like to invite you to a dinner held at the Guild Hall tomorrow night. I think an invitation was sent out prior, but there was a lack of miscommunication or a bout of miscommunication.
yes.
But yeah, I came to personally invite you to that dinner.
Well, I do remember that. Sure. When? What? Tonight?
I mean,
Right now?
no, tomorrow night.
Oh, perfect. Roll me an insight check. Okay. As you look at Lorena, she is familiar to you. You don't know why, but you see her face and the word friend just comes into mind. You look at her and you think back to what Oni had said, and you think back to your meetings with Manon and the way that their arcane kind of threads are drifting around them that you can see this connection to the world and this knot that is them. As you study it, there is something similar within both. They're both unique, like looking at two very different tapestries, but it's almost like a type of stitching that's the same. It's like they're two different images but the same technique. You look at Ken, You don't see it in his innate form. Not in that same way. His is very different from most other people's because of Bahamut's influence. But with a natural 20 and a 25 on insight, there is
Something.
it's almost like a fingerprint.
I guess if she steps closer and like looks.
Well, it's not something that you can get closer to discern more information from, because you're not really seeing it. Your eyes are creating a visual representation of what you're sensing. So as Lorena kind of like steps or stands up from the counter and finishes counting up things and kind of like steps around to go talk to Ken, you see it as it moves, and as she moves, it's kind of like watching like a ball with small fibrous tendrils drifting through the water. They move like these like almost sunbursts off of her into the world around and then just reverberate. But that's not unusual. Everybody has them. The more potent you are, the more attuned you are to magic, the higher your spell slots, the more you can affect the world around you. But as she gets closer, you don't discern any more. There's just something similar, like I said, like a fingerprint between the two of them.
Okay.
But as you study her, she kind of like steps around the counter and goes, "Oh well, sure. Tomorrow night would be great. You said at the guild hall, the Sword Coast, right? You guys are with the Guardians."
Yes, ma'am. That's the one.
Very good. Well, I will go ahead and put it into my schedule. Should I bring anything? Is it potluck or? She smiles.
We'll take care of that. Take care of everything on that end. You just show up and just prepare to have a good time.
Very good. Well, it'll be good to see you again. Good to see Eodos and Rose again. I haven't really touched base with them, and it's been a week or so.
Yeah. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that when you get there tomorrow night.
Sounds good.
That sound effect from across the Spider-Verse wherever a canon event happens plays right as she says Eodos and Rose.
All right. Well, I need to finish counting out the till. I guess.
Yeah, I'll head back out then. I guess I'll see you tomorrow night.
Yes, I'll be looking forward to it. We'll talk then. Okay.
Okay.
Mia will linger for a moment and just look at her one more time and just, do you do magic?
Yes. I mean, most of my magic is kind of an innate skill, but I can cast spells as well. Why?
Would you cast something strong?
Sure. Give me 1 second. Let me find a spell from where I need to cast.
That won't destroy the town.
Why not?
She casts.
Explosion.
She makes Ken dance this
yeah.
time.
I was about to say. I was looking for the actual spell name in the list, and then I was like, wait, why can't I find the spell? Wait, why is this list limited? Why doesn't it have all of the spells in the game?
All the spells.
Let's see, what would she have? No.
Healer is it's nifty.
I just kind of want to do this because I think it'd be funny. Okay. She kind of goes, all right, well, I mean, It's kind of a powerful spell, but you
All
know,
right.
Perfect.
as, if you want ridiculous, here we go. Something non-harmful.
Sure.
She'll cast a 6th level spell. You see as she begins pulling in all of this arcane potential. Ken, as you open the door, you can hear Mia behind you ask these questions, and you turn around and you can watch Lorena. And you've seen her in her casting. Like it's very ritualistic. Usually it's like this kind of like slow build as she's imbuing magic into her tattoos. This is an actual just casted spell, and as she releases it, you see what looks like a plaque with a fish appear on the wall.
Hmm?
Kind of like just to your right, just over your right shoulder, Ken. And as you look at it and kind of like open, or, you know, raise one eyebrow, like, what? You guys remember those Billy Bass fish from when we were kids?
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
it's doing.
Billy
just starts-
Bass?
Yeah, you know, with like, it was like one of those, like, it's like a mechanical fish that just starts like flapping its tail, moving its head around and singing as you move into it.
Oh.
It's what it does. It just starts singing a random like tavern song, and she smiles, and it's just like a fish plaque on the wall just singing a song, and at the end of the song she just waves her hand and it disappears. She casts Program Illusion. Yes, that.
Oh, okay.
But she smiles and goes, I don't get to waste my magic like that regularly. Is that what you wanted to see?
She'll just like kind of look at Lorena and then look at the fish. Interesting.
She kind of
Okay.
then tilts her head sideways and goes, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm pretty sure that it's just going to be there forever until I dispel it.
Oh,
It
good.
will be
I think
dormant
you
for 10 minutes, but then the next time somebody walks by it, he's going to start singing again.
I think you should keep it.
Yes, I agree. The spell is so much better than I thought it was.
Interesting. Okay. I mean, it doesn't really tell me anything more, unfortunately, but when I see you and Manon and Rhodey together, and maybe that'll help.
Oh, where? Okay, there are going to be other people there as well? Manon's? gonna be
Yes.
there?
Them and us.
Okay. Alright, I don't know this Roti, but that... Okay.
Perfect. And she just like gives a little like curtsy. Just see you tomorrow.
Tomorrow then. Raises a hand, kind of gives you a wave goodbye, and goes back to counting as you and Ken head out the door.
It's very hard to figure out how are you supposed to act around someone who you think is a friend, but they don't know you, and you don't know them.
Well, you just, I guess, talk to them, you know, build up a rapport, obviously with honorable intentions, and then maybe over time you figure out what it is you need figuring out.
Hey, I have a feeling we don't have a lot of time to build friendships, though.
I mean, who knows? I mean, it could take weeks. It could take a party. Like, we'll figure it out.
I hope they want to be friends with me.
Okay. Does anybody else have anything else they want to do this evening?
Did my training, did my meditation, did my theory crafting on the gate. I'm good.
Alright.
I guess.
Pretty sure the rest of
it
us would
was-
flow in.
Right. Was Emmeline gonna do her scrying tonight? See what
Well, So, Scry is 5th level, right?
I think so.
And copying a spell.
5th level. Takes a couple
She
hours, maybe.
has- Yeah, she's gonna have to scribe it into her book, so she's probably gonna wait until the morning to do it.
Okay.
To actually cast the spell. But when she gets back, she'll thank you guys for the fun day in town, and let you know that she's going to go ahead and add the new spell to her spell book, and I will assume that you guys checked out the 2 journals on. Would you have taken them with you, Oni?
Probably if we were trying to help Mia figure out anything about herself or get insights on what's going on, we would have checked them out for sure.
Alright, so let's go ahead and...
The library will never get these books back.
Such torture.
We get back like a year later. We've got like 100 gold fine on them.
I'm sure they'll like be genuinely confused, but more confused about the fact that a grown woman checked out a child's picture book and didn't return it.
Well, little does she know that Mia's not exactly a grown woman.
In body, but in spirit.
She's probably millions of years old. An old lady.
Old lady. Alright. Got those 2. Okay, so... For review, Emmeline heads back up to her room to go and take care of that. Alright. You guys gather together for your evening meal, share with each other the discoveries of the day, and turn in for your long rest here within the guild hall, unless there's anything else.
Nope.
No.
I realize this now. Go ahead.
Did Ken have anything to say about the potential like god talk?
I wasn't there.
Would you
Well,
tell
then
him?
that's-
Who had-
I mean, we would fill you in. We're not just gonna come in and leave you out of it, homie.
Mm-hmm.
Well, can. I mean, it's always possible that Mistra wanted to hands-on,
Uh-oh.
but made you. But who knows? I guess more research is needed.
Yeah, I heard Mistra once, or made you, and then you cut out.
Oh, I said. I mean, it could be possible that Mistra, in an effort to become more hands-on, but she wanted to be more hands-on, but due to the rules in place that gods can't interfere, I guess figured out a loophole, and I guess, I mean, that's my theory, and made you, but I guess more research is needed.
Yeah. Does Mia know anything about your connection with Bahamut or not?
No.
Okay. And that's
I'm
it.
going to become record eventually, so if you would like to know.
I mean, if she did know, she would just ask you to ask him, which probably wouldn't work, but...
Well, unless there's any other conversations you guys wanted to have tonight,
Great.
Papa Hame. At least we're not calling him Daddy.
We would have a sit down conversation with him if he did some shit like that.
I think
Intervention.
Bahamut would have a...
Yeah, it's time to stop.
It's time to stop.
That's one straw too far.
One
I
strawed it too far.
I found this hilarious when you mentioned episode 69, As you all wake up on the morning of 420
Oh my god.
Hell yeah.
during episode 69 of Tyranny.
Oh,
my
yeah.
god.
Within
Perfect.
the comfortable guild barracks here in the Guardians of the Sword Coast Guild Hall, you awaken on another beautiful spring morning. What's on today's agenda?
Training.
I'm gonna ask for Oni's help with meditation techniques again.
Yeah, never trust.
Guys,
Never.
I don't trust myself to meditate anymore.
Or me. Never
I don't
trust
meditate.
me.
I don't meditate.
Okay, all right. So you guys are going to do your morning trainings first things. Ken meditating along with Oni. Go ahead and roll me a wisdom check with advantage. And dude. Okay.
Here, I'll give you even more too.
Roll a d4.
How many times can you do that?
Just as many sorcery points as I have.
Wow.
It takes 2 to do it. but-
And flash of genius.
Okay.
Oh, fuck.
It's still not bad.
Plus,
As you sit
buff it.
within, you reach, you ask Oni for his assistance, and I can't think of a reason Oni wouldn't. The two of you find a quiet place in the training yard, away from the noises of Fred eating his morning breakfast. The guild hall is big, but it's not super big. It's about like 200 feet to a side is like the area of space that you have for the guild hall. And you guys have taken up most of the training yard that they had. They had some small outbuildings and then the main building, but then a big open space that then got turned into first a small swamp for Fred, and now an airship dock, as you have the Starlight
Right.
Dragon parked here as well. So there aren't as many private places, but you are able to find somewhere quiet where you can hear more the sounds of the city and the people than the sounds of crunching.
And Pokemon in
Close
the
your
background.
eyes and begin to meditate. The tempest reaches you like it always does. When you reach for it, it is there. This storm of powerful platinum energy. You've wielded elemental magics. You've wielded a lot of different types of magic, and this is just pure energy, just coursing around you. And as you sit and listen, you focus on your breathing, and you don't let your mind wander. You try to keep it still. You're close. You're close to being able to trust in your body's ability to withstand the transformation. You still are unsure whether or not the damage would kill you. But within the next day or two's training, you could at least...
Not explode.
Yes.
It's a start.
It is a demigod level of power and energy, and it will take quite a bit to contain it, but by the end of it, progress has been made. As you finish your
I
meditation.
just don't want to explode.
Right?
Let me be able
Make
to
us
be
do
brought
that
back.
again.
All right. As
Now,
Ken and
now it's the fun part.
training. As Ken and Oni finish their meditations, the rest of you have begun your training. Can somebody... I think he's still doing...
Dexterity.
Still doing.
I think. Let me check.
Yeah, I don't think he.
Can somebody roll me? All right, I'm gonna roll it because I don't want to have to give it to everybody yet. Boom. Oh yeah. Somebody roll me
Yeah, okay.
3d6 for Takashi.
Who wants to
Not
do
it.
it?
Yeah,
Nose
that is,
goes.
I don't want to roll them 3 ones.
There we go.
13. All right, not bad. Okay,
Spell sniper training.
go for it.
Not at advantage, I just saw that.
Hey,
Trust!
4d6.
Come on, give me sweet numbers.
Ken.
Wait,
Oh,
what does this
no.
put me at? Please, God.
You're right there.
God
Just short.
fucking damn it.
You're like 4 away, right?
3?
Oh no!
I hate my life.
You've become. It's gotten so almost rote. There's barely any thought that goes into it now. You can quickly gauge and hit at a distance. It's just that you're not 100% sure you'd be able to do it under battle conditions at this point, but you're so close.
Do you know what the sad part is? This is just like me leveling my classes in Final Fantasy XIV. I will be like just a few experience points off of leveling while everybody else is already leveled.
10.8 million experience needed to level up. 300 experience to next level.
Exactly.
Kidding.
That has been my experience in Stormblood and Heavensward and in Shadowbringers and Endwalker. I would always be a sliver away, and everybody's just like, "Yay, next level!" And I'm just like, "What the fuck?"
Blue ball. Ah.
Would I be able to apply Bend Luck to that roll? Because it says for an attack roll, ability check, or saving throw. But I don't know if.
I'll let it happen. Sure.
Alright, I'll use 2 more sorcery points. Roll a d4.
You're so nice. 26.
Now you're 1 away.
Wait, is this to my intelligence or is this to the d6s?
Well, actually,
I was
hold
hoping
on.
it would go to the d6s, but maybe it'll roll you another dice.
That's.
if you get a
Let me
20.
check. Let me check, because you're right there on the cusp. Let's see. Where am I?
Please roll another 2. It'll be so
Right. I just
funny.
want it to happen. So it's a feat. It's a high DC feat.
This is just torture.
It's so
Roll
funny.
me
though.
another D6.
Okay.
2.
I'm gonna get cucked, I know it.
3!
There you go.
Hey!
So as you
I didn't think it would actually work. Yay.
It would have been infinitely funnier if
I
it had been a 2, but I'm glad you got it.
Right? Same. Like, it would have been hilarious. But at the same time, we got you
Oh
there.
God.
It's been so funny, and it's been such a long road that by the end of it, you're still a little unsure, but you find yourself second guessing your own capabilities in that last moment, and then you feel a wash of possibility wash over you. This feeling of unlimited potential, infinite possibility, like you had tapped into the multiverse itself and could feel every possible outcome from this choice, and in that realize that there are just as many times where you trust it and it goes wrong, that you trust it and it goes right. In that moment you just decide, no, I'm ready. I'm good.
You know what's funny? It tells me I can learn one cantrip that requires an attack roll. Choose the cantrip from the Bard, Cleric, Druid, Sorcerer, Warlock, or Wizard spell list.
Go for it.
I don't even know what spell.
Pretty
I
much
need
any
to
cantrip.
look at it. I know. I need to look at the... It requires an attack roll.
Yeah, so it'd be like Ray of Frost or
Firebolt.
What do I not have?
Firebolt.
I have Firebolt. I have
Eldritch
Eldritch Blast.
Blast.
I have...
Shocking Grasp.
Shocking Grasp is an attack roll.
Yeah. Let's see. Chill
While
Touch.
you look at spells.
Yeah.
Who else is training?
I gotta do.
Oni is.
Yep, pretty much everybody.
Dun-dun-dun-dun. Sorry. I just hear it.
Yeah, I gotta do defensive fighter.
All right, go ahead and roll me your skill checks.
What is this?
Am I rolling to
spell?
hit or rolling a charisma check?
Roll a charisma check.
I'm working on Mariner, so I gotta do it instead.
Ow.
Okay.
Fucking Word of Radiance.
3d6 for Ken, 4d6 for Mia, 3d6 for Oni. Okay. Hey, everybody rolled pretty much the same today. Okay. All right. So you gather together your morning meditations between Ken and Oni. It only takes about 20 minutes or so while the rest of you just get ready for your morning practice, and then you head to your skill training. A successful day of training across the board as everybody hits their DC and makes good progress towards their goals. Aerith gaining his feet and
I
expanding
can move on to
his
new
range.
things.
Can move on to new things now. As you are celebrating your newfound confidence at the end of the training regimen, Aerith, and everyone's kind of like panting and catching their breath from the exertions and the physical trials. You see Emmeline kind of walk up, smile on her face. Morning, everybody. How are you doing today?
Good.
I had
Just working on
actually
stuff.
come to talk to Aerith.
Mm.
I went. I had forgotten in all of the activities and events yesterday that we had a letter from the Cartographers Guild in Baldur's Gate.
Oh.
So I went ahead and read it. It's promising news. I think that they've narrowed down where the cave network, at least that we were able to kind of get an idea that might exist out there, is. If you want, I've got a map in Dad's office.
Yes.
Alrighty.
Well,
Well,
I need to make a new map because mine got destroyed.
you do.
Oh,
It'll
yeah.
be good timing because I'm actually building a new world map with all of the changes that have happened during our campaign. So it'll line up with that. That'll be fun.
Okay.
Is everybody going with them?
Yeah, I'll take a peek.
Mia just follows everybody else. So.
Heading back to Hadrian's office, Emmeline's office. She sits down behind the large desk. She looks tiny behind this desk, guys. Like, Hadrian was a big guy. He was bulky and burly and not like overly tall, but like 6 foot, like 6'1". Emmeline's like 5'4" and like 120 pounds. She looks tiny in his chair compared to
Small.
the presence that you would normally see in this office.
Must be
But as you
comfortable.
take up your
Must be comfortable. Extra room.
big cozy
Nice big
chair, as you take up your positions around the office, she takes out this world map of the Sword Coast and goes, "Okay, so I had put together everything that we had discovered in the library here, all of the journals about the adventurers in the past that have traveled into the Dalelands to help with the instabilities or problems here with the planar magics, the droughts, and different problems. We haven't really had anything in the last 100 or so years, so there's nothing super recent, but you remember. I got all that information. While we were in Baldur's Gate, I stopped by the preeminent Cartographers Guild there, and left it all with them, basically hiring them on the guild's dime to do a little bit of research. And I expected it to take a couple weeks, but I guess something incentivize them to look into it quickly. They didn't specify it, they just said that recent activities had brought it to the front of their attention, and they were able to glean a few insights. Okay. Kind of like sits back. So, Parnast is the most western city within the mountains. It's kind of a tourist resort. It's so high and secluded in the mountains that it's hard to get to if you don't have an airship. And so when it was originally built, it was kind of built as a safe hold for those who could get to it. And then turned into a luxury resort lodge, where the influential members of the Sword Coast could travel, yes, and live with people of their own standing and all of that nonsense. So, I say this because these mountains they're home to a lot of cave networks, rare minerals, gems, and even some strange rock formations, I guess, according to their missive here. And she takes out the letter that she got, and it's like 3 or 4 pages of heavy text with a final page of some brief topographical drawings, very, very basic, like somebody drew it in about an hour, where it has Parnas listed and then a couple of X marks. There's 3 of them. Apparently, based off of the writings here, the adventurers ran into unique striations of some rare minerals that are described in one of these tomes that narrows the caves that they were using down to this area of the spine of the world, just south of Parnast. Now, it's still a 60 to 100 mile area that would need to be scouted and explored, but it's smaller and closer. In addition, while thinking about it, Parnast is primarily visited by airships, so if you were to, say, scout the area out, you could then leave the Starlight Dragon in Parnast and go on foot from there. But apparently, one of these 3 caves, and I'm just going to go ahead and mark 3. They're pretty arbitrary, but there's 1
This
here,
little mountain. This little mountain.
and the side of that mountain, and then,
Melon. Sorry.
side. These are the 3 known cave entrances that have this unique type of mineral deposit and development in them, according to the cartographers, and it's literally their lives to know this stuff. So it's fortunate that a wizard who kept this journal kept such meticulous notes on the purple and gray ore stonework. He kind of refers to it as both, lining the walls. It's apparently a side effect of illithid influence, which is warned about here, that the psychic emanations from their civilization can cause the stonework itself to warp like this. So, dangerous, but we knew that already, and she looks past them over to Oni. And if I remember, your path that you came on wasn't without some peril itself, so I don't know which one would be the safer route, but we can at least, or you can at least decide between those 2. Any other questions on it? They didn't have specific locations, just there's a lot of, she kind of flips through the pages, there's a lot of talk on the stonework, mineral composites, life forms in the area, the possible pathways, but nothing that jumps out at me as immediately important, unless...
Nothing's coming to mind right now, for me anyway.
Me either.
Where are we going?
To the Deadlands.
Is that somewhere fun?
Uh,
I mean, I found it fun.
I mean, if you've been there, then you know how you got here, right?
The path, not through the ones that she's talking about that lead through the Underdark, but the Icewind Dale.
Right. But you don't think we should go that way?
I don't know. I mean, both are perfectly acceptable. I know the one I came through, but I'm not saying the other one isn't worth exploring. It's really up to what the party feels is worth the risk, I guess. Because the other path may be quicker, but it may be more perilous.
That is the concern. The Underdark is it's no picnic, and if Oni was able to get through Icewind Dale, I don't know.
Why
Looks to
don't
Ken.
we just fly all the way there on the airship?
I don't think that's a good idea. I'm not sure if the airship can handle that long of a flight. Actually, it can't. It can't fly more than 24 hours straight. Otherwise, things will happen. We learned that the hard way.
yep.
And the spine of the world's also a little bit... There are no passes low enough to get an airship through. As far as I understand, there's a hard limit on the height, the altitude the airship can go to, and most of those mountains are far beyond that limit.
Can we just... I mean, I could maybe get us there with magic if we could just go there. You said you know where we're going, Oni?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to just take us there?
Well, we got main things to care of. I'm building a device to teleport our friends once we get past whichever path we take, because we're going to be getting into a big fight once we get where we need to go. So I need to be extra sure that we can have our friends there with us in case it pops off.
Sure. I mean, I can do it at any time. Like, it's just like teleporting, right?
Well, Emily looks at Aerith. From what I remember us discovering, planar magic and teleporting magic within the Dale Lands is tricky.
What about other types of magic? Are those okay?
Seem to be, yes, as long as you're not summoning things from other places or trying to move through the world through a teleport, it should be okay. So the Dale Lands, from what we discovered in our research, they're a place of planar instability, where the planes of earth, fire, water, and air kind of overlap onto our world, our plane of existence, so that they can fuel it, so that we can have the land we live on and the air we breathe and all of that. It originates from those dales, but because of their proximity to the outer dales or the other outer planes, anything that could weaken or move through the skin of the world, like teleport, risks opening a portal to that plane instead, from what we could understand.
Hmm. And that would be bad?
Very.
Oni could probably describe like what the Dales are like, and like the Earthdale, for instance, is a rocky, mountainous, cavernous landscape of crystalline growths and endless mountains where the air feels so thin that you can barely breathe and water is scarce. The sun beats down on your back, but you don't feel the heat and warmth of it, just this oppressive brightness during the day and then shining of the moon at night, but no real warmth or cold to speak of, just this kind of almost absence of atmosphere. The Earth plane is that dialed up to 11. It's a place where no other elements than Earth can exist. And while adventurers have made their journeys into the planes, they normally do them through astral projection, which is extremely difficult.
Not actually being there.
Yes, it helps prevent the more destructive aspects of the planes. So, unfortunately, what that does mean is that no, we won't be able to fly the airship there. We can get close, but then you guys will have to go on foot. Now, the gate that you and Sid, that's based on teleportation circle, right, Ken?
Correct.
Okay. Now, I know that all of the research shown here was based on the adventurers using teleport. Everything that, well, I say all the research. The 3 accounts that I read all pretty much said the same thing. One of them attempted to teleport out of the plane of fire and was met with a magma elemental. The one who wrote the story ran. Well, unfortunately, their friends were unable to get away. Looks down. Teleportation circle, however, it's not as destructive to the skin of the world, I guess. Because it's a fixed point, I don't know.
Works a little differently, I suppose.
Hopefully, at least that's the hope. But
With
the only way
anchors instead
know.
of just a hole.
Exactly. So, hopefully your Platinum Gate will function within the Dales. Getting out might be easier than getting in, but I think you'll have to walk it first. So she kind of like takes the
I kind of
missive.
base my initial theory crafting on that thought process. So, just some minor tweaks here and there, and should be fine.
Sounds good. Well, I will leave this in your hands, Ken. She hands you the missive from the Cartographer's Guild with the rough location of 3 possible cavern entrances that lead into they refer to it as like a mine network that would have they call it psionic ore, in that it maintains a low level psychic kind of field, but it also warns that the ore is generated due to its proximity to Illithid, and so
Don't like that.
it's kind of risky.
It's fine.
But yeah, if you have questions, let me know. I can put out some feelers, find out what answers you might need if they can be found out. But yeah, whatever I can do.
Okay. Well, thank you again, Emmeline. As always, we appreciate you going above and beyond for us. We're gonna make sure this hard work you've been putting in doesn't go to waste.
I know you will. Okay, now I actually have to do my job and find out we have 3 new applications for guild member. Okay. All right, guys. Please let me know if I can help.
members coming in?
We've had a few applications. We still don't have a lot of jobs for low-level adventurers, but there is interest building again now that things are starting to open up, and well, with the cult gone and the majority of the Sword Coast blind to the greater threats, life is returning to how it was a year ago. And yeah, that means probably another batch of goblins on the road, bandits getting back to banditry, and oh yeah, we're still a little bit unsure about Squarnoble, but hey.
It's fine.
I'm sure they're all super chill and like easy to get along with, right? A bunch of devils and all that. I'm sure nothing will go
I'm sure
wrong.
they're really nice. If you just sit and have some dinner with them and,
No. Nope, don't want to do that. Nope, that sounds like an easy way to get tricked into a deal. I don't want, nope. But, yeah, you might see some new faces around, especially now that we've got the cafeteria open again, and hopefully the guild can get back to growing. I know Dad was sad when we lost a lot of our... We didn't... She kind of looks at you, she's like, I don't want you to think they died, okay? Well, some of them did, but it's the risk with an adventurer. About half of the adventurers we had on call opted to retire when things got sketchy, and so we lost a good number of our workforce. You guys have really been our main party out of here recently, so it'll be good to see things building again, and I know that would make Dad happy. So. Okay.
Were you going to make the new people deal with the weird ooze?
Shit. I don't think I have anybody who could deal with that. If you guys can't deal with it, I think I'm gonna have to deal with that.
Oh, be
We
careful.
have no
Don't touch
method
it.
of dealing with it, yeah. The best way would be to try and contain it.
That's what I remember you saying.
Which was difficult.
Maybe I'll see about getting a stone shape scroll and hiring myself some bodyguards to keep me safe while I don't know, you mentioned something about just burying it, right? What if we just covered it in a slab of stone and walked away with a do not touch engraved in the top?
I mean, maybe. It seemed to not be having a great influence on the earth around it, if I remember. But
well, it didn't really seem to be affecting anything non-living. It just seemed to be affecting living things. But like the plant life around was dying. But like it was just earth and stone and dirt.
So maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean that's probably the best way we can deal with that. Because all of our experiments turned up poop. So.
Yeah, sometimes it goes that way. You try things and try things and try things and nothing works.
Don't
Okay.
put vultures in it. They don't like it.
Okay, good. I'll remember that. Okay. Alright. Well, you guys have a course of action to discover or to decide upon, and I have a job to do, so good luck to both of us.
Will you
Yep.
Are you going to join us for dinner tonight?
Sure, if you want me to.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to have Lorena and Manon and Arodi,
Okay,
and
good.
I'm going to
Got
try to
Lorena.
see what's weird about them.
Alrighty. Well, I will be there. And just
Or be square. No, I'm kidding.
exactly. I'll be there or I'll be square. All right. So, as you guys head out of M's office, what's on the docket for today? Chad is sitting happily behind the desk, kind of smiling, just humming to himself while he's flipping through some pages, and looks over and smiles at Mia and looks back and just starts thumbing through his paperwork.
What you smiling at? No, I'm kidding.
You know what he's smiling at.
Ken's probably chilling / working on the gate some more. I need to find. Actually, let me see how much we've got. Because I need to do a quick build of 2 of an item. Okay, yeah, we got enough. And else, I need to withdraw 600 gold pieces.
Okay.
Plus
Sorry.
however much material costs. 'Cause I'm gonna make 2 platinum defibrillators.
Okay.
In case you do die.
Just in case.
What if
Well,
we
you
get
have-
disintegrated?
Well, that's your own fault,
Well, don't get disintegrated.
right?
If you think you're about to get disintegrated,
Don't.
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 All right. So you procure the items. The hardest thing to find are the diamonds, honestly, and that just takes money, and you're able to build them. It takes the majority of the day to put them together. It's about 3 or 4 hours per device to make them. You've gotten quick, but it's still a 3rd level enchantment going into an item. So while Ken is working away, is there anything anybody else wants to do?
Good question.
Right? It's the problem with downtime is I just don't know, like,
Yeah,
yeah.
what we're doing. Neither do we. I guess if no one else asks her to do anything, I guess, barring anyone else, Mia would just go and hang out with Chad and like ask him to explain the world to her,
Oh, boy.
right?
Start with sex.
Okay, he doesn't start with sex, but he rolls a natural 20,
Ugh.
which is
Go
surprising.
Chad.
Right? So
Right?
he
It's like
kind of
we learned about like the whole world map and stuff today and a bunch of new terms, and like she still has no idea what's going on, so like what is everything and where and what.
he blows your mind. All right, so like for Mia, the world has been the forest north of Erebor
Yep.
and
Yep.
Erebor. You kind of
about
got
it.
And Goblin
an
Octopus.
idea. Well, you got an idea
Right,
of the
well.
scale of the world when you saw it from 10,000 feet in the air, flying in the airship. You
Mhm.
looked down upon it and saw how massive this
It
world
was
was.
big ground.
While speaking with Chad, he goes, "Oh yeah, that was just this section that you were seeing," and he circles a tiny little section of the map of the Sword Coast, and he goes, "And this is just one continent. There's another country called Am, to the south of the Sword Coast. There is a island nation named Launton that exists over here." And he kind of like points off of the map so that you have to understand that what you're looking at is this map isn't even the whole world. It's just
How could there be more than this? This is already so big.
because the world is massive. And he spends the afternoon filling you in on society, civilization, and blows your freaking mind with a natural 20 on his charisma. He actually does a good job of kind of explaining the scale of the world, and in the end you feel smaller and bigger at the same time, like you know how you fit a little bit better as a actor on this massive stage.
She also invites him to dinner as well.
Okay.
I bet he's thinking it's an actual date.
While you
Probably.
are working away, tinkering happily, Sid joins you for your crafting, your artificery, and provides. He's kind of like an assistant at this point, and it's an interesting dichotomy because a year ago you were his assistant, and now he's yours.
Oh, how
But-
the turns have tabled.
Right?
It's just kind of, it's another thing that hammers down how much has changed in the last year. You finish your first platinum defibrillator and it looks perfect, beautiful. You don't test it because you don't have somebody who died, but you know it'll work, and you set it
Not
aside
yet.
to go and begin working on the second one. About an hour into the second one, you receive, or you hear a voice in your head. Ken, what has happened to Tazmakella? We cannot reach her.
Oh no.
Last we knew, your mission. Last we knew, her mission was to join you for your council. Please report. As you hear Pratanther's voice in your mind.
Ah, shit.
Ugh. This was soon going to bite us in the ass.
Oops.
It's all your fault.
Uh,
Yeah.
technically, it was Takashi's fault. He was the one who tried to murder me.
I like how you're trying to blame him. Well, he's not here.
Right? He can't defend himself. It's perfect.
Or Takashi.
He didn't have to try to murder me.
He was trying to knock you unconscious, to be fair. He was doing
Yeah.
non-lethal damage.
And
With-
you were already on Dragon. It wasn't like she sprung into action to get you. She defended you after you were already leaving on
Well-
Dragon back.
No, she sprung into action because she opened the door and saw
Because he
Rose
shot
with,
me.
yeah, two large arrow punctures in their legs, and Rose was very much under attack by Takashi. That was why when she opened the door, it was like, shit, dimension door, I have to get them out of here because they had
So
taken
then it
some
was
damage.
Rose's fault.
No. He didn't have to shoot me.
You didn't have to attack and set them up.
Yeah, and I didn't have to antagonize as dealt, so let's just say that blame can be laid in a lot of places.
Yeah, it's like we could put like 75 Rose, 10, 15 Kane, and another 10 on. Well, I'll say 5 on nobody, 5 on.
No.
Let's do
He gets a
On
50%
the
to
Dragon
Rose,
Girl.
like 20% to me. We'll put 15% on the rails. We'll just blame the rails for the fact that I needed
Oh
to
my
get
God.
Rose out. I didn't expect Tazmakella to go. Honestly, that was something that happened in the moment, and I had to roll for that, and that was something that the dice decided. So, but no one has tried to contact Taz or Rose since that happened, and that was a week ago. You haven't heard hide nor hair from either of them. Munching on my donut.
25 words versus.
It's funny.
I'm
I
gonna just click
always
this. I'm gonna just click this, and then if it's too far, we'll just condense it into.
was that was exactly
That's
25
26.
words.
Was it 26?
I see 25.
1, 2, 3, 4, 6.
It is 26. Why?
Okay, so we'll read.
All
that.
you gotta do, just drop a tagging, just drop and so that they know Taz helped.
Right.
Just comma Taz helped.
Yeah.
Okay.
Commas don't count for words.
All right. Let's see.
If you just combine, like, if you don't use spaces and you do like one breath, can you put like 25 words as one word if you're just really quick about it?
Right. You gotta. You
Talk
just
real
gotta
fast.
hope.
That old, what was it? I think it was like a phone company, yeah, where he's like, "This is a call from Bob, and we got a baby, it's a boy," that sort of deal.
Gabriel Iglesias did a stand-up on it. I will find the video. Sorry.
On that note, I'm gonna take a quick break from building the second one and go find Emily because
Call Rose, see what's happening, so we can report back to Dragon Supervisor.
As you set down the second platinum defibrillator, you look at Sid, who kind of like tilts his head to the side and looks at you and goes, "What's wrong? You look like you smelled a bad smell."
So I just got a message from one of my other older dragon siblings. They were asking about Tazmikella and Rose, or well, they were asking about Tazmikella, and then I informed them about what happened with Rose. Oh, fuck. Oh, hell no. Alright, yeah. Ken's getting up immediately and going to go find Emily.
Oh, well, if I can help, let me know. Me and Nuts will just keep an eye on things here.
Yeah.
Boy, that poor boy.
Keep working, Sid. I'm sure you got it.
Sid like picks up 2 pieces and goes, "How did he make these fit together? I'm so confused." All right, you rush through the guild hall, walking quickly, followed by your parade of small dragon children. Head through the main, like atrium entryway, with Mia sitting on Chad's desk, being
Looking very confused.
being confused heavily by Chad as he's talking about the size and state of the world. And as you walk through, they both kind of look at you and roll something for Chad.
Hi, Ken. The world is really big and scary.
Chad kind of tilts his head to the side as he sees the the look of concern and worry on your face as you hurry over to Hadrian's office, knock, and head in. Emmeline's sitting behind her desk and looks up and goes, "Oh, you're back. Okay. What's up?"
We might have a situation on our hands.
Okay.
I need you to try to get in contact with Rose.
Okay. Well, I haven't been wanting to give them their space. Okay. What do you want me to say?
Request for space denied.
He's going to take a deep breath because he's still slightly upset about what happened, but this is not the time or place to act like a parent.
Debatable.
all, ask them how they are. Second,
Okay.
where are they? And to tell Rose, to tell Taz that Pretender is looking for her. I don't know how you can fit all that in 25 words, but
Let's see.
apparently the situation is
Believe
dire.
in you.
It needs the assistance of an ancient dragon. Fuck, I might need to go to the mountains. Yeah, you can see like Ken's like tail like tensing up from like the slow buildup of stress from this situation and his
Okay. All right, I can make that work. Okay, give me 1 second. She kind of like closes her eyes. You see her run her hand through the air, and she begins just like muttering under her breath. Need to- Okay, that's not terrible. You see, as she finishes the incantation, then her face scrunches up, and she kind of like winces in pain and throws herself back, like she's trying to get away from something, back into her seat. The seat doesn't like topple over or anything, but she kind of like throws her head back, and there's a small trickle of blood down out of her nose, and she kind of like reaches up and goes, "Ow! What the hell was that?" Ah. And she's like holding her forehead.
Are you okay? What happened?
I. Okay, I cast the spell, I encoded the message, and then I sent it, and then it sounded like, um, uh, you know when you're in like a small room, like an outhouse, and you scream because you're stressed out and you need somewhere that just is like small, and it kind of like echoes back and it gets louder and louder and louder, and it just, that's what it felt like. I heard my own voice in my head a dozen times over and over and over. She kind of like is just like has her head down on her hands on the desk, like holding it.
I'm so sorry. Damn it, this is not good.
Okay. She kind of like
So-
shakes her head. Okay, well that didn't work. I've never had sending not work like that. Should I try it again?
No, I am not going to risk you hurting yourself over this.
Okay. It was only
Get in
about 6
contact with
damage,
the,
so it wasn't too
6
bad.
damage.
Get in contact with the quartermaster. We're going to need some potions. I need to find Mia and Aerith. Fuck. And he walks out, like power walks out to find Aerith and Mia.
Okay. You hear one final like, "Oh, I need Advil."
I need Advil.
Only
Sword
6
Coast equivalent of that.
It's enough to knock a commoner unconscious. It wouldn't kill them outright, unless they had 3 hit points instead of 4.
Yeah, if they were a weak one.
Yeah, kill a weak
Enough
commoner.
to kill a child.
Okay. Mia, as you are having your mind blown by the scale of Toril, the world, and he's at this point trying to explain to you that the world is called Toril, the continent you're on is called Faerun, and the country you're living in is technically known as the Sword Coast, and then you're in a city known as Iriabor, in a building known as the Guardians of the Sword Coast. So it's like 6 layers of
lot.
location deep, yeah. And
A lot of names.
as he's kind of like going over this, you see Ken power walk, not like throwing the door open and like angrily slamming it behind him, but there's force behind it. There's intention, and you see him step out of the office.
Hi, Mia. Do you know teleport? Question. Backtrack. You said you know teleport, correct?
Yes. I
Okay,
think so.
fantastic. Stand by. I gotta go find Aerith.
Okay. Sure.
He starts power walking to find Aerith.
Okay, as you walk away, the door opens from Emmeline's office, and she opens and goes, "I tried one other thing, Ken. I tried to scry Rose, and it didn't work. So, they're not on the material plane.
Lovely. That's what I needed to hear. Fuck.
Okay. I mean, I have plane shift, but if I don't know where.
Where we're going, we won't need plane shift. We're gonna need teleport.
Okay.
I need to go find Era.
Okay.
Emmeline,
Yes.
go contact the quartermaster, see if they can provide potions.
Yes,
We're probably
potions.
going to need.
Okay. She kind of she hurries out, and the tone, even though she is the guildmaster here, the tone that you're using has such command to it that she just hops to, closes the door behind her, runs over to Hendir's office, kind of knocks 3 times, and barges in. And she goes, "Hendir, we might have a situation. We need potions." Goosh, you hear the door close behind. Mia, do you follow Ken or do you stay with Chad?
Did he say to stay here or?
He said to stand by.
I said
Right.
stand by.
Okay.
but
She
not
stands up
really.
next to Chad and waits. I guess.
Stand by. Stand by, Chad.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. So, it's about
Sorry.
noon, 1 in the afternoon at this point. You guys did your morning rituals. Ken made his first defibrillator. Then he got the message. So, at this point in the day, Aerith, where are you?
That is a good question. Oh, what the fuck would I be doing? Like going through. I guess I would be in the guild's library, trying to figure out how to increase one's dexterity. Essentially.
Okay. Okay. All right. Roll me an investigation check with advantage because of Sage. It's not a big library, and most of what's in here is like bestiaries or
I was kind of hoping for combat.
yeah. There are combat manuals. There are instructional manuals, but nothing as intricate as like what Ken had found.
Mm-hmm.
Digging through what they do have, there are some like basic instructions on calisthenic techniques and types of practices for increasing one's precision, because that's really what it comes down to. Dexterity is often misattributed to speed, but it's the ability to work precisely quickly. So when Rose was training it, you sit there and you think, and you remember that Rose had been practicing their dexterity for a while too, and they were using a coin.
Before they gave up.
Yeah, before they gave up. They tried a bunch of different things because it was very Rose nature to, just try different things. But they would sit there and they would roll a coin across their fingertips, like across their knuckles, to try to move it without letting the coin fall off their hand or without having to use anything else. And it was a way of practicing fine motor function, which is what dexterity will require. So as you're kind of like ruminating over this and looking down at some basic, they're more like health manuals on proper breathing techniques and like
How to correctly exercise.
yeah, they're very much
How to exercise for dummies.
right. It's very much like Ring Fit, Arcane Ring Fit. It's like there's like spell books in there that look like arcane books, but they just have diagrams that almost seem to shift and move as you look at them, that show the proper techniques for working muscle groups. There are medical diagrams that show dissections and like analyses of the musculature structure and the body structure and how it condenses and how it like organically works. And then there are some books that are like a little bit of both, but the books here in the guild hall are very much like like I said, it's kind of like somebody had a run of encyclopedias that they filled their library with. There's not a lot of redundant information. There's a lot of like, this book covers this topic, this one covers that topic type thing. And it's only a tenth the size of the small room that you were in the Erie library. But as you were sitting quietly enjoying the peace and the gentle crackle of a candle,
Sipping some
door-
tea.
sipping some tea, the door slams open, and you look up to see a very harried cat.
Ha! What happened? What's going on?
We might have a situation. Do you have message?
Yes?
Sending.
Sending?
Yeah, either or. I need you to send a message to Pretanther. Tell them that we can't find Rose or Taz, but we are we are prepping to help them out if they can find a way to teleport us there. Or no, we got a way to teleport us there. I just need to let them know that we are on the way to help them if we can. And you can see like Ken is like nervous and tense, and he can tell that the tone from Pathetic's voice was not cool, and he needs to get up there.
Yeah, and I'll cast sending and essentially repeat what Ken said as quickly as possible.
Okay.
Get it all out in under 6 seconds.
Yeah.
Man, so if you had like a good 60 to 80 years, Aerith
I know.
only has the Dex manual on him, but he used it a
Right.
little while ago.
I mean, Aerith technically does have 60 to 80 years to wait for it, but
I don't know if the Sword Coast will wait that long.
yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so you send Pretanther a message informing him that you don't know where Rose is, that you're looking to aid them and get there as soon as possible, correct?
Yeah, we don't know where Rose and Taz is, but we're prepping to get up there as fast as we can.
That's my message. Or my sending.
Give me 1 second. I'm coming up with an answer.
How dare you? No, I'm kidding.
Oh, excuse me.
Poor kid. The man's got so much on his plate.
I know.
It's fine.
It's just like, alright. Next thing's next. Doing the gates. We can't find so and so. Which is a problem.
He's always clean the rest of our messes. Like, we put so much on his shoulder. After all this is done, he deserves a vacation. Assuming we are able to kill or stop Tiamat,
Right. I mean, if
he
not,
deserves a
then...
break to D&D Hawaii.
Well, I mean, if we
We'll
don't
find an island.
stop her, if we don't succeed, then he'll get all the break he could ever want.
Yeah, but
He'll be dead.
I want him to have a good break, not like non-existent.
Yeah.
That's like the ultimate timeout.
Super break.
So as you send your message out, Aerith, a moment passes. You hear the gruff voice of Pretanther in your mind. Their disappearance is concerning. The armies of Thay have marched into the Dale of Fire, where we cannot follow. What is happening over there?
Ken! I go and find Ken and repeat what he said.
Oh, shit. More than likely, my guess is they're meeting up with the cult and heading towards the Well of Dragons.
What do I say to him?
Oh, shit. They're going to the Dell of Fire. They're probably heading through to, well, like I said, they're probably traveling to meet up with the cult, and then they're probably gathering to meet at the Well of Dragons.
Look at my updated map to make sure I had the right Dale. Sorry. It was the Dale of Air.
Not fire.
Oh, there.
My bad.
Air. Sorry.
Earth, fire, wind, water, heart.
Go
The Dale of
planet. The Dale of Heart.
Deal of love.
It's kind of like the Fey Dale.
The Dale of
Life,
Fey.
at least.
Dale of drug-induced seizures.
It would have been the Dale of Air.
Yeah, I mean, same.
I'll repeat sending another message.
Okay.
There goes both my warlock spell slots. It's fine. We're in an
It's
emergency.
cool. You can take a quick little short rest after. I'm sure it'll be fine.
I'm here.
Just a measly hour.
Alright,
A measly hour.
okay,
Nothing
so
could go wrong
you
with an hour.
inform them that they're heading towards the well of, they're most likely heading to the Well of Dragons, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, meeting with the cult. Yeah, that.
Yeah.
All right.
Fuck, that means I gotta accelerate my teleportation circle. Like,
Okay.
fuck me.
Wonder if that means they've already made a move on it or are about to make a move on.
About
The last
to make a
Titan, too.
move.
Well, no, I mean because they've tackled 3 of the 4 Titans out there also. The Air was the last one that they took down, so that they might also be about to not only push for the Well of Dragons, they might also just knock out that 4th Titan while they're at it, you know? Which I assume is not going to be any better for us.
Deep
What could
breaths.
go wrong?
Deep breaths. Deep breaths. You're not panicking. I'm panicking. You're under panicking.
Panic.
Panic. Aerith.exe has stopped working. Please leave a message after the panic.
I
Panic!
need to figure out how Pretanther's going to respond.
Okay, should probably let Emily know about that and see if she can. Well, no, he'd probably be more receptive hearing it from me. I'm gonna like pat myself down, make myself look presentable, and then armor up, and then beeline it to the I forgot the noble's name, his mansion. Yeah, I'm not even gonna try to run. I'm gonna just fly over there.
Okay.
Do you think that ancient red dragon is still like holding the fort down, or do you think they're gonna pull him with it? Because if they leave him alone, we can go fucking murder that guy.
I'm sure he's just hanging out. Sipping a Mai Tai.
Mai Tai. I'm about to poison that Mai Tai. Meh. Pew.
6, 7.
It's so fun when you have to count.
I think
I
it's
wish.
actually, I love working within constraints because that's what makes games fun to me, and so I kind of like having to do it because it's 24 words, and yet I can get just the right intonation across. As you inform him of the army of Thays' intent to most likely join up with the cult, you hear a reply in your mind. Very concerning indeed. I'm curious what would drive Tasmakella away in such dire times. Please remember to keep us informed of any future developments.
I repeat for Ken.
Okay. Well, like I said, I'm like making myself presentable, armoring up, and then like running out the front door, and then immediately flying to the mansion.
Ken had set himself up to be working throughout today, so he wasn't really set up for meeting nobles. He had grease stains and had the remnants and arcane residues of the first defibrillator still like on him. So while you're replying, he's getting himself all spruced up as quickly as he can. He's definitely looks like he's got somewhere to be. Is anybody going to follow Ken as he rushes out? I'd say he rushes out away from Aerith and then past Mia.
Mia's still just standing there.
Aerith is
Next to
following.
Okay. As he heads outside, he jumps into the air, activating his winged boots into the sky above. You hop on your broom,
Yes.
and the two of you fly down to Lord Braun's estate, which I'm just going to go ahead. I don't think we've actually put a map point for it here. But it's down on the central tier, as that is where the nobility lives. It's the most secure place here in the city. And you fly over. As you approach, the estate itself is about the size of the Guildhall. It has a large keep-like building. It's square with 4 round circular like towers, turrets, one on each corner, and the square stone wall. The whole building just is like one big block. Looks to be about 4 or 5 stories tall, and then there's about 60 feet on either side of empty space before there's just a stone wall that encompasses the whole estate area, with a main gate kind of facing down towards the southeast, down towards the river.
So, why is it the Sword Coast?
So there's actually, hold on. I wonder if he knows this. He doesn't. He goes, I don't know. Maybe we could find that out?
Sure.
Ken, as you fly over the keep here in Iriabor, how are you proceeding? Are you going to land outside the gates, within the estate, fly through a window, land on the roof?
No, I'll
Smash through.
land. I'll land in front of the gates because I'm not trying to start any trouble, add any more stress and trouble that we already got ourselves in right now. So
It's
Give me a persuasion check as you land, because there are 2 guards that are standing at attention out front of the gate.
Oh, it was okay. I was like, wait, did you already roll it? Why
No,
are you flashing?
Just in case. Okay. Oh man. All right. As you land in a standing up, retract the helmet, and you look at the 2 guards that are standing out front. They both like look at each other, quickly ready their weapons as you land about 10 feet away from them. But then they look you over, and as you kind of walk forward with this intent and purpose, they look at each other, seem to share a thought almost, and then look at you and go, "Sir, how can we assist you today?"
okay, well, thank you. I think you. I guess you must have realized who I am. That'll save some time. I need to speak to Lord Brahm immediately.
Yes, sir. What may I say is the nature of the... And as he's asking the question, Aerith drifts down on his broom and hops off next to you. What
We
is the
have
nature
vital
of the-
information. We have vital information entailing the activities of the cult, and we need to speak to him post haste.
Of course. He looks over at the other guard, who just gives him like a curt nod, and The one you've been talking to looks back at you and nods. I will be right back. Wait here for just 1 minute. He hurries through like the main gate is about 15 feet wide. It's this big like carriage-sized gate, and then there's a small gatehouse with a door in it built to the side of it. He hurries through that door and into the main estate. About 5-10 minutes pass, during which time the other guard stands there and kind of keeps his eye on you guys, not warily, but just watching before the first.
Spacing.
Ken's pacing.
Spacing.
All right. Well, with their natural 20 insight check, they could definitely tell something's wrong. I've rolled so many tonight, guys, on like things that help you for a change.
It should stay that way.
It's not allowed to be easy. But the first guard comes out and heads out the door. Lord Braun is in a meeting at the moment, but he said he'd be willing to sit down with you in about 30 minutes to an hour. He just needs to wrap up what he is doing and then can have his meeting with you, if that would be okay.
That's fine. We need to go take care of some preparations anyway. I'll be back in 30.
Very good. We will be here.
Okay.
Okay.
Earth, let's go. We got some work to do.
Okay. You guys head back out, and getting through the city if you fly is much faster. It's just it does draw attention as you guys soar through the air.
I
know. You see as the citizens kind of look up and like squint at the strange occurrence that is somebody rocketing through the sky, which even in a magical city like Erebor doesn't happen very frequently. Where are you going next?
Going back to the guild to make preparations.
All right. What are you preparing?
What's
the plan?
Go find Sid. Let him know vaguely what's going on.
Okay.
I'm gonna write down like step-by-step instructions on how to build platinum defibrillators for him.
Okay.
So he can probably, learn to build them on his off time. Next up.
Well, hold on. Roll me a intelligence check with advantage because you have established, like you've created the schematics for them before, but you are kind of in a hurry. Okay. So it's a matter of getting it accurate within the time frame that you have. It still takes about 30 minutes to kind of like sketch it all out, and you reference other things, but yes, he did essentially.
Okay.
Okay. By the end of it, Sid's looking at you. He's got a worried look on his face. Like he's not worried about you, but he's worried for you. And he nods. Right, okay. I think I got it. You go take care of what you need to take care of. I got it. And he cracks his knuckles. I got this. And he looks down at it. I think I got this. Okay.
You got
Good luck.
this. And then I guess he'll run back outside and fly back to Bronze Magic.
Okay, so you get Sid working again. Mia, as you have stood waiting, talking with Chad, standing by.
I'll like when I'm like Pearl walking by, I'll look over. It's like, have you been standing here the whole time?
You said stand by.
Yes, she has. Yep.
Oh dear, I didn't mean it literally. Just be ready for anything. You don't have to stand the whole time. You can relax a little bit. Just when I call for you, just be ready to come over, okay?
Okay. I guess before you run away again, I did want to know, I wanted to let you know I can do the teleport once.
Okay.
If that's okay?
Yes, that should be fine, but just, like I said, when I call for you, just be ready to stop by, okay?
Okay,
You don't have
and
to
you'll
stand.
have to... Right, you'll have to also describe to me where we're going, but that's fine.
Yeah, I'll be able to, don't worry.
Okay, but I can sit down.
Yes,
Yeah,
you can sit down.
Like I said, it's what's called a colloquialism.
Yeah, that is a really long word.
Or it's kind of like, yeah. He starts to explain to Mia what
Metaphors are.
Yeah, like it's not meant to be taken literally. It's like there's a word for it. I can't think of the name of it. But okay. Hurrying back to Lord Bronze, you land out front of it, out front of the mansion. Aerith, are you just
I'm
trailing
following,
Phantom
yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully to
You
try and help
Mhm.
relieve the stress.
okay?
You're getting your flight miles in.
Yeah.
You hurry after him, assist him with writing out the instructions as best he can, and then head back to the manor. As you guys land, you are led into a small, like, sitting room. There's a handful of sofas, love seats, and a big, like, comfy looking leather chair next to a large fireplace. And sitting in the leather chair is Lord Braun. And as you enter in, he kind of sits up in his seat and raises his glass of some sort of like dark liquor, like brandy or something, and takes a sip of it and goes, "Oh, good. You're here. Please have a seat. Have a seat. My guard said you had something you wished to discuss with me. Do you want a drink?"
Well, Ken will do like a small but cordial bow. Thank you for the offer, but the situation at hand, unfortunately, does not permit drinks.
No, that's unfortunate. What is going on?
Well, while prepping and doing some work for today, I received a message from from a well, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it anymore. He's the chief overseer of the mountains, uh, the ancient gold dragon Pratanther. He has informed me that the wizards of Thay are making their way to the Dale of Air. Knowing what I know about them from the knowledge gained from the said overseer, my guess is that they're heading through the Dale of Air to meet with the cult and heading to the Well of Dragons. I am currently making preparations, but we might need to accelerate our plans.
Very well. What plans would those be?
I am in the process of building a device to allow uh, our alliance military to pass through to the safe locations past the Dale lands. I'll be accelerating those plans, and we'll be building a working prototype here in the next day or so. If I'm, if the stress doesn't impede that.
You can you both roll me an insight check?
Insight.
As you head in, and you're obviously like, Ken is very frazzled. He is sitting very comfortably in his chair with a glass, a snifter of all right, a snifter of dark liquor. He listens, but he doesn't seem too bothered. He kind of nods, takes a drink of his glass, sets it down on the table. Well, for my part, I have reached out to the various arcane guilds here within Erebor, and they have promised me a contingent of wizards and mages of varying skill levels. I believe my last head count was somewhere around 4 dozen total souls willing and able to fight on your behalf. I would need about 2 days to put my forces together to be deployed, but at this point, that's all the head notice I would need. Is that what you wish to discuss? Deployment of assets?
Well, the assets. Well, thank you again. Well, I just came here to inform you of the situation, as you should when you're in a, coalition of the best and brightest of the realm. Um, yeah, I just came here to inform you of the situation and to let you know what my plans are. It might take a little bit longer for me to get past the prototyping stage of the Platinum Gate. Once I feel that the gate is fully functional and ready to be deployed, I will let you know, and then my team and I will be starting our expedition.
Very good. Well, And I suppose you have your work cut out for you. As I said, I would need about 48 hours, 72 max, in order to get my forces together and ready to be deployed. So, as long as I can have a head notice, then I'm ready to go.
Okay.
Do you
course,
wish
sir.
for me to reach out to our other allies on your behalf and inform them of these developments, or will you be speaking?
Yes. I would be glad of the assistance. Please inform them as soon as you can. I'm gonna be. My hands are gonna be full with trying to at least get the prototype started here soon.
Very good. Well, then I will commission some messengers to send some arcane messages to our allies. Is there anything else I can assist with this evening?
I think that's pretty much all we can do right now. Thank you again, sir, for everything so far, and I believe that together we can get through this storm. All the better.
Could both of you roll me a charisma check?
Charisma. Oh!
Charisma.
There you
Okay.
go. That's not bad.
Okay.
And all my flesh today. I don't care.
Panic?
It's okay.
Damn it.
As Ken is very scattered at the moment. Things are very concerning. Aerith, you've managed to maintain an air of composure through all of this, and as you've watched Braun, he hasn't seemed particularly concerned or perturbed. He seems more put out, like, oh, that? Oh, okay, sure.
You actually have to do something? Ugh.
It's more of like a, oh, that's it? Oh, well, sure, okay. Talking with him, he doesn't seem too concerned with things beyond Erebor, but it's hard to really tell. He just seems kind of aloof. As you are wrapping up, and he's sending out or getting ready to send out these messages, he kind of leans forward and nods. Yes, okay, well, I will get these messages out. If there is any more that me or my estate, city, can help with, please leave a message, let me know. I will do my best to facilitate. Kind of looks between both of you again. Are you sure you don't want a drink? He looks directly into Ken's eyes. It could help.
Ken will, I guess pick up what he's trying to say. Take it like 2 or 3 deep breaths. It's like, yeah, I'm probably gonna need that drink.
Very good. He stands up and he'll get like this crystal decanter and pour you each a small drink of like a finger of a very, very nice brandy. Kind of has like a pear flavor to it.
Ooh.
It's poison.
Blech.
Blech.
But very well. Okay. Let me know how things develop, and I will work to pass on the message to our allies. You guys are led out of the estate, back into the city. Your head is a little bit calmer, mostly the alcohol, but it takes the edge off, and it's just like the 10 minutes of being there, sitting and focusing on the drink. There wasn't really a lot of talking. It was just like quiet introspection as a group, enough to calm the nerves. Where to next? What's the next plan?
Back to the guild. Me and Seal are about to get to work.
All right. So you head back to the guild, return into the guild just after 4:30-ish, 4:15. Let me see. You've been gone for about an hour. You check in on Sid. He seems to have everything in hand. He's he's a bit concerned about the final stages. And as you step in, he kind of looks at us. Alright, so we've got most of the base work done. I've read through your notes 3 times. This final step here, the imbuement of the arcane potential that happens, that's a little outside my wheelhouse, I think. Hold on, let me make sure, because he might be online. What did I make him? Actually, no, never mind.
Oh, ninth level.
He is 9th level. Alright, so he does have... It's not that I don't have the spell capabilities. I don't know how to cast Revivify. So I had to...
Battlesmiths don't have Revivify, do they?
Well, they do. Actually, hold on, because he can get it in the morning. Sorry, there's just so many things my brain is trying to keep track of. So no, actually,
artificers can just add spells.
yeah, because he can just adjust it. Okay. I won't be able to finish it till the morning, but I should be able to wrap this one up, no problem. And if we can get the materials, or you might be able to make another one by scratch. They were good instructions, and I've rolled an 18 and a 17 so far on understanding them. So
yeah, no problem. But we might need to not accelerate our crafting of the Platinum Gate, but just speed it up just a tiny bit. So we're probably gonna have to
not accelerate, but go faster.
Well, if it helps, I think we're getting to the point where I can take over, at least until, the final imbuement, the activation procedure, as it were. That's going to require potent magic, but the blueprints we've been able to make, the schematics, the diagrams, and all of the notes that we've put together in the last few days, I think that gives me enough that I should be able to get started on the physical work. Because everything we've done so far has been theoretical, but it's probably going to take time. I had assumed that you were leaving me to build it, and we were designing it together, and you were going to adventure while I built it. Were we building it together? Do we have that much time?
Yeah, I mean, after today, probably not. So, yeah. If you think we're ready to put it in physical phase, then I'll leave it to you.
But one or two more things that I want to clear up with you, at least as far as your vision goes, and what I think will work and what might not work. So maybe one more brainstorming session tomorrow, and then we should be okay. I should be able to take it from there.
Right. Yeah, we can do that. No problem.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else I can help with, Ken? Even just someone to talk to? I'm never going to cast judgment.
I think just hanging out would be swell right now. Actually, I think I just want to hang out with everyone. Just no work talk. Just hanging out. Honestly, let me go grab the rest of the team.
We have dinner tonight.
We do have dinner tonight. Right. Okay. Did you want me to join you, or should I keep working?
Yeah.
Okay.
Shit. Yeah, I mean, we're getting together tonight. I need to separate myself from the stress. I just need just a couple hours to just relax. So yes, please join us. Please.
Great. Okay. Kind of pushes himself up from the chair, and Nut scurries up his leg and onto his shoulder. And... All right, let's go gather up your friends.
Yeah, I'm doffing my armor.
Okay.
Like once I'm back at the guild, I'm doffing my armor, so the kiddos are probably following me around.
Okay, so you have your pack of dragonlings. What is the plan? What is everybody gonna do? You've got about 3 hours until your scheduled dinner. You have... I'm gonna go ahead and assume, informed the guild hall that they will be hosting a estate dinner tonight for some of the more prominent members of the
Hopefully
society here.
somebody told them that. I mean, Mia wanted to go, I guess, at some point if Ken tells her to stand down, she wanted to go help them, like, make stuff.
Yeah, that's fine.
Is there anything any specific scenes you wanted to do before dinner, or do you guys just want to have a low-key, chill afternoon where you guys can just sit and sip some?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ken needs it.
All right, Aerith.
Calm down from the panic attack.
I guess I'll help however can to de-stress.
Okay. All right. Oni, anything from you?
No, Oni hasn't even realized what has been going on. He's just been training with himself using his echo, just
There
Oh,
probably there's probably a group of like young people, early 20s, late teens, that have shown up, about half a dozen, as you're training with your own echo. They're just watching you, like entranced, as this martial form is being executed in front of them.
Mia helps
ask
in the
Oni.
kitchen.
I completely forgot. I need to ask Oni about those platinum wings he's been having, because I don't think he's. I mean, I think he realized that he has an artifact, but he hasn't really sat down and talked to him about it yet.
If you want to now, you can. If not, we can do it
Talk
at a
over
different
dinner.
time.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll go look for him real quick.
Alright, so as you begin to decompress, you take your deep breath, exhale, get sit in tow, head out into the training yard to see Oni training intensely with his own shadow.
Oh no.
Roll me a sleight of hand, Mia.
Hell yeah.
At disadvantage, but it's not a high DC because they're commoners that are cooks. Okay.
Randomly, who put chocolate in the chicken? Why would you?
Oh
Chocolate
boy.
makes everything better.
It makes everything better, apparently. Those are some wonderful perception rolls, guys. Okay. Mia heads to the
Students would be
kitchen
great.
where they don't tell you not to help, but there isn't a lot that they give you to do because there's nothing that they can really trust that you'll be able to do correctly. However, you find some opportunities to augment
Help.
one or two of the dishes. And with some bad perception rolls, doesn't seem like anybody would. But yeah, did you want to talk to Oni before dinner or at dinner, Ken?
Probably before, just to kill some time. Let's see. Probably, I mean, we could talk during. It's no big deal.
It's up to you. I mean, right now he's just out in the yard. He's being kind of observed by about half a dozen of the new possible adventurer recruits. They at least look like new recruits. They look baby-faced and unscarred.
For now.
But it's up to you. You just gotta.
Actually, the new kids. I don't think we've met any sat down and chatted or talked to with any adventurers / prospective adventurers.
Really?
So I'll circle around to, I guess, join the group at first.
Okay. As you approach, there are a couple of them that are like, just like talking to each other. One turns the other and goes, What do you think that is? Do you think he's just like moving super fast between both positions? Is he making an illusion of himself? I don't know. I mean, I've never really seen anyone fight like that. I mean, look at that. He kind of like points, like he's moving between 2, 3, 4 different martial arts styles in a single. How do you even learn to do that? They don't seem to have noticed.
Years and years of training.
Ah.
Is what I can tell from that.
The two that you had walked up next to, the one closer to you, kind of starts at your presence, and gives you like a tilt of the head, and the other one like goes, "You're one of them."
And then the third one just
Wanderer.
goes, ah!
The others are intently watching as Oni is like doing this. It's almost like the Matrix movies where you're jumping in the air and like kicking against each other, and they just keep rising into the air. They're flying because he can fly, but it's just kind of like that like constant assault of kicks and punches.
Like classic like wushu films where they're like just propped up with strings.
Yep. Kicking off each other. Yep. Yeah, he goes, wait, you're him. You're Ken, aren't you? I heard about you from the. Wow, this is an honor. He kind of like steps forward and holds out his hand.
Oh, this is adorable. I'll shake his hand. This is great.
Messenger, nice to meet you. This is my friend Zerth. God, these fucking name generators are fucking great. I love them.
It's nice to meet the both of you. I'm glad you guys decided to take the step forward and become adventurers. We need go-get-em souls like you in these times.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we were. We weren't in Greenest, but we heard about everything you guys did there, and just wow, this is just something else. I didn't think. Oh, I mean, what are you doing now? I mean, what kind of what deep dark tomb are you going to be exploring next? What endless array of hallways should you
Are you trying to trigger me?
No. I mean, I've heard a couple of the stories that you saved the town of Greenest from a cult attack. That you were you explored an ancient tomb on behalf of an archaeologist. Just a few of the basic stories that have been.
Fought a lot of dragons.
Fought a lot of dragons. Basically, he's going to start recounting stories that you recognize, but they're very blown out of proportion because he's going to start telling you Rose's stories of your adventures.
Oh,
This is how everybody knows of the Wanderers, is because Rose would tell your stories, especially right up until Rokai. That was how you guys got food and places to sleep. So that's how he knows of you. Are these tales of your? Do you remember this one? He turns to Zerth. Do you remember the story about the bomb that you set off at the cultist camp? What was it made out of again? What was it? It was. He's trying to remember. I can't remember. Do you remember what it was made of?
It was like compacted like alcohol that Ken bought from some mercenaries at the cult hired.
Yeah, and you hid that in, because remember you guys combined the alcohol to make, you made the Molotov cocktails, and then you threw the Molotov cocktails at piles of fertilizer.
Yep.
That Aureus had spent his time there
Too much
strategically
time.
piling up, which is why he got his shit shoveling proficiency. But yeah, he starts telling you the story of the fiery
Shit.
horse shit bomb And it's hearing the early stories of your adventure, when things before you died, honestly, it's hard not to smile because they were filled with a lot more shenanigans.
Yeah.
But seeing the youthfulness here in these two kids, because Ken's what, 20,
He's getting ready to turn 24.
24. These guys are only like
Actually.
3 years younger than you, but you put the two of you next to each other, and you're carrying probably another 10 or 15 years on you in age.
Basically.
Yeah, adventuring is hard, and it takes its toll, but it's necessary, and so it's, yeah. Oni, as you have finished your routine, I guess he stepped away.
I actually just walked back in.
Oh, hell yeah. As you finish your routine, you
But my
look
bad.
over and...
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just saying, like, I was listening. I didn't want you guys to hear a bunch of beeps and sounds from the oven because she still doesn't know how to work the oven over here.
Gotcha. No worries. But as you finish your... yeah. And they were also much further north. I don't know if you guys went back to any of the taverns down here. But as you finish your training routine, you look down at the small crowd of fresh faces that had gathered to watch and see Ken and Aerith standing and talking to a couple of them and watching you as well.
Alright,
Just
he definitely
staring at us.
he wasn't aware of that. He was more focused on just working it out a little bit because he hasn't been as martially focused as he normally was, so he's kind of surprised to see other people here. Just, is everything okay? What's something
Yeah.
the matter?
Oh, hey, no, it was just they're
They're fans.
inspired by your movement,
Yeah.
and they were curious about how it was happening, and
How did you learn how to do that? And they point at your echo, which is just kind of flickering and waiting.
That is a long story that I can shorten to a culmination of understanding across infinite lives.
That sounds very complicated. Okay.
No big deal.
Alright, maybe I won't be able to learn how to do that then. No, I don't think you're going to be able to learn how to do that, Zerth. Stick to magic with you, huh?
oh, you're a magic caster.
Well, trying. I got cantrips down. Kind of like does a little produced flame into his hand, but still working on the second level stuff. I don't want to waste any of my, actual spell slots.
My 1 or 2 spell slots.
Looking at them, Ken, these guys are like level 1, level 2. They're brand new.
Babies.
They
The little
basically
babies.
You're their goal now, Kim. You are who they need to become.
Well, like I said, I appreciate y'all taking that first step, and like Ken will like start rubbing his chin, thinking, maybe, possibly. Well, if you want to use your magic in a slightly more practical way, may I interest you in possibly learning how to be an artificer?
Called it.
The smaller one, the caster, Zerth, looks at you. What's an artificer?
Kind of like activate his boots and like let's just hover like half a foot up, and then
Okay,
drop back down,
That's really cool.
and then he'll signal to his kids to armor up real quick.
As you whistle out and signal like prairie dogs hiding in the field. The kids had followed you out here and then ran around and found places to tackle each other and hide in the tall grass and the brushes and the trees. And as you whistle, it's pop, 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 pop. They all pop their heads up and then scurry towards you, jump at you, and as they're in the air, there's that moment of flash and ting, as they split apart and tunk, 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 latch and form around you as the Racefelger armor system. And there's a what from both of them, or it's just kind of like disbelief and awe.
Aerith just
Artificial
pokes
breathing.
behind them and just be all like, "You create fancy things
I mean,
with
that's
magic
And science.
and science."
science.
You kids want to learn some math?
Where did you learn how to? Where did you get that? I mean, did you do you just use that? Is that like a magic thing that you bought, or
I
Like-
built it.
you built? Where did you learn to build that?
Believe it or not, the man who taught me is in the guild hall right now.
And it looks over at.
But it's more trial and error than anything.
Well, I mean,
It's just imagination, trial and error, and dedication to what you want your vision of an artificer to be. For example, I wanted to, after the passing of my friend a while back, I wanted to turn my artificery into the vision of defending my friends so no one else would get hurt. And so I became an armorer. And now I'm the party's tank now. This is what my vision became physically.
kind of like sits back and like reels back a little bit. I mean, I don't even know what my vision be. I just want to help. I got little arcane talent.
That's a fantastic first step. I mean, you don't have to limit yourself to one path. Artificery. See, that's the beauty. That's the beautiful thing about artificery. It can take form in infinite a number of ways. All you have to do is just let your imagination guide your hands and just be dedicated. That's really all there is. That's the heart of it all.
What do you think, Sedgar? Do you think I should seek out this master, this sensei to teach me this? Like, I mean, you know, I've always had trouble with wizardry. It's just so, I don't know. It doesn't really click right. Maybe this is what my magic is meant for. The other one kind of shrugs and goes, "I'm much more like, well, like him. I use these," and he like adjusts two really not great looking long swords on his waist. Like they look like they were probably bought out of the bargain bin. I use these. Getting pretty good with them, if I gotta say so myself. But no magic.
I'm gonna take these two long swords. Hey, do you
And
mind?
take these away from you.
What? What do you?
Just
gonna
let
do
him.
with them?
Just let him.
Roll me a persuasion check.
From
Either
who?
one of you at advantage, or both of you. Either one. Take this man's swords.
We're gonna improve your swords, but don't panic. Don't cry.
I have a 2 persuasion.
You can do it.
I got advantage. I'll roll it. Plus flash, because I got 2 more of those.
Knock yourself out.
Okay.
Hey.
All right, that'll definitely do it. He kind of like he looks panicked and goes, "Okay, but they were, I mean, they were expensive, so just try to." He hands them out
Relax.
to you very tentatively. I mean, he basically unbuckles his belt, and he takes off this sword belt that has 2 sheaths just kind of on it. And so he unbuckles the belt and hands you the whole belt with both swords still hanging from it.
Your fly is
Now
down.
you got
Okay.
ripped off.
Yeah, Ken's just gonna do a quick inspect of these long swords.
Okay. Roll me a investigation.
Investigation.
Done
I'm
got
good
ripped
at
off,
that.
son.
Oh, what the
In
hell?
theory.
Flash machine. Fuck it.
um,
Today is
looking
Flash Day.
apparently, looking at them,
Giggity?
they're not. Let's see. What is the average? Make sure that I got it. Okay. It's not that they're like salvaged goblin weapons that were just resold. They look like they were made by a decent smith, but they're kind of like store brand swords.
Mhm.
They're just bargain bin. You look at them. There's a little bit of imperfection there in the blades where the steel didn't quite get mixed correctly. The iron and the coal and charcoal didn't take correctly, where the steel is just a little off. But the balance is pretty decent, and the handiwork that went into them is pretty good. They probably cost anywhere from 10 to 20 gold pieces a piece at a regular like shop, non-magical.
And for regular people, that's expensive.
It's like
You know
3
what?
months late or 3 months work.
Hmm. You know what? This might be good for now, but you know what? Follow me. And then he's gonna go to the forge and I guess adjust the swords to be better.
All right, roll me a Smith's Tools check.
Smith's tools. Where are my tools? There we go.
As you kind of okay,
Hell yeah.
you take the swords in hand and head back over to the forge that you've worked at quite a bit. You and Aureus was like the first. Actually, no, that was the forge back in Greatness. My bad. But you have been here, and the blacksmith that kind of runs the forge here knows you and knows that you will leave his forge in the same condition he left it in, so doesn't mind you using it.
Hey,
said-
boss. I'm gonna use one of your forges real quick if you don't mind. I'm gonna help this kid out with his weapons.
Yes, of course. Let me know if you need anything from us, and we can provide assistance as well. He gets back to his
Sounds good. Thank you.
Ding. You heat the blades up, and let's see. I know you have scrap iron. Do you have any good metals in your inventory?
Nope. But I should probably ask the boss for a couple of ingots. I'll pay out.
All right. Let's say 10 gold pieces out of to the guild can get you enough ingots to essentially. It takes an hour or two of heavy work because you need to purify out the blades, and that requires heating them and then quenching them and then heating them. And so, Aerith, you can hang out and watch and learn what you need or want to learn about forging, but this is going to take a minute.
I'll probably go and do something else.
As the heat begins to build and the sweat on your brow forms, you get the heck out of there, man. You can't have those nice clothes messed up with sweat stains.
I just bought these.
You just got them.
Manual labor.
But it's not that they're magical, but they would, with a natural 20 for a 30, at this point, they would be considered mastercraft, which would give them a +1 to attacks and damage. It's just not magical. But it's about an hour or two, and you reforge both blades. They are, by the time you're done, perfectly balanced. Right there, about an inch above the crossguard of the blade, so that the weight's just past his hands. And as he takes the blades back into his hands after you quench them for the final time, he kind of does this short, quick maneuver that looks a bit clumsy. His left hand doesn't look like it's quite. It looks like he's trying to dual wield longswords when you can't dual wield longswords without a feat. Actually,
He's trying his best.
it looks like he just barely has the feat, as he's a variant human with dual wielder, but he still can't add any like attack roll bonuses or anything to that offhand. So it's still a bit clumsy, but he could do it, and he kind of moves through the motions. He goes, "That feels much better." And okay, so he looks over at his friend. Okay, so if Zerth were to learn how to do what you do, artificery, does that mean he could make me swords like this more often?
Just swords?
That's
Other
cute.
things. Okay,
Well,
let's go find you.
well,
Let's go find you this master. Come on.
Do you wanna know what can be made? And I'll just pull out my rapier and then shift it into the pistol.
What the? Can I?
like I said, artificery can take many forms. It's just up to the user.
Up to
What
your
they want to do?
imagination.
I think I want to learn to be an artificer. Who is this this wise and benevolent master that taught you?
Let's see,
He's
what
got
time
a
is it?
squirrel.
5 now, so
Yeah,
I think we still got time before the dinner. Yeah, I'll take it to him. Come on.
You, Oni, as all of this is, you finished your training and saw Ken. As Ken walked away with the swords, did you follow Ken, or do you have anything else you wanted to do? I feel like I kind of pulled you in, and then you got.
I don't know. I mean, he'll go along. He didn't have anything on the docket for the day, and it seemed like other people had plans, so he's just taking the afternoon to get a little training in. But now that he's seen some of the party, he'll kind of follow along, see what's up for the day. Because he still doesn't even know that something serious has happened. He's just been,
Just hanging out.
Ken had already had his panic attack alleviated and had a tiny buzz by the time he met Oni, and was like, "No, everything's good, man." All right. So heading through the guild hall, you head back to the. Let's see. You're not set up in the cafeteria for this. It's probably your barracks room is where you were doing the work on the defibrillators this morning, because you didn't really need the forge beyond like the basics of creating the plating. So as you lead them through the guild hall to your room, you open the door and see Sid hunched over, and he kind of looks over his shoulder, and he's got a set of goggles on that are helping him magnify what he's working on. And he looks over, and his eyes look freaking huge, and he goes, "Oh, you're back! Oh, and you brought new friends."
Hey, old man. This here is. Which one was the magic caster? Segor?
Zerth.
Surf. This here is Surf. He's a new adventurer here with the guild, and I may or may not have persuaded him into becoming an artificer. And I told him about this great and wonderful teacher of mine. Put him in the right direction.
Excuse me.
I wonder if he's available. Let me check. He kind of like turns around, and he picks up something small, and he turns back to his side so that everyone can see, and he's got nuts in his hand. He goes, "What do you think? Do you think he's available?" And Nuts just chitters and goes, "I think he's available."
Here you go, have a squirrel.
It's a very strange sight, and Sid is not necessarily the most sane individual at the moment. He kind of has a bit of a crazy inventor look to him, and as he looks at Zerth with a wild smile in his eyes, there's a bit of like hesitation. Zerth kind of steps back, like, maybe. I mean, there's tiny machine Squirrel.
Was this the smartest choice?
He looks over his shoulders, and his buddy Sedgar is still sitting there looking at it with. You know the Simpsons episode where Moe has 2 knives?
Oh, this is great.
That's what he's doing. He's basically like, this is amazing. This is fucking great.
Sid, stop scaring the kid.
Oh. You hear that,
No.
Nuts? We're scaring him. Listen, madness, it's a prerequisite. You're going to go to be a little insane in order to be an artificer. Ken has mentioned, I'm sure it's all about imagination, right? 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 He looks down at Nuts. Right. But, let's see what you got. Arcane potential. Hit me with your best shot. And all he can really do is a produce flame cantrip. So he does that and throws it at Sid, who kind of just twists out of the way. Okay, not great, but a start, and it shows potential. Might not have had the right teacher. Alright, I need about an hour, wrap up what I'm doing. Why don't I come find you? And I'll put you to the test, huh? Zerth was it, right? Zerth, like, looks
Invite them
at
to
you.
dinner.
You can. And then... Wait, Sid was being invited to dinner, too, right?
Yeah, so invite the kids to dinner. They can talk over dinner.
Oh my god.
Everyone's invited to
Everybody's invited to dinner.
dinner.
Everybody's invited.
Alright,
It's
well,
what Mia would have wanted.
at least until dinner time, I can push it through the paces and we can figure out what's going on, and take it from there. Okay. Let me, he kind of like looks between everybody like, Zerth is just kind of like wide-eyed, like, okay, I don't know about that, but sure, okay. You know what? The first time I went to wizard school, it was really scary, and they were a little bit weird. So, okay, best foot forward. And he
What
like
else is
mutters to himself a little bit. You hear as he convinces himself with his own argument, and then steps into the room. Like, okay, well, what are you working on now? I know I'm not going to understand, but if it's artificery, then any information is better than none. And he's just gonna pull up a chair next to where Sid's building the defibrillator. Sedgar kind of just like walks in with an absent-minded like, I just follow my friend. What you guys do?
I guess, I guess hang out until it's time for dinner.
Okay. About another couple hours pass. You guys relax here within the barracks hall, and it's comforting and amusing. You haven't heard the lesson plans of Intro to Artificery in a while. And the last time that you interacted with any intro level to Artificery, it was Thune and his like Artificer's manual that you found. So there was a bit of a taint in that like memory, but hearing Sid going through the exact same procedure, like word for word, these are the tricks he used to teach you how to manipulate the weave in this way. Hearing him go down this same path again with Zerth, and finally seeing at the end as Zerth casts Mending. I think
I am grinning like ear to ear, in and out of game.
as you grin, there's
That's so good.
like a bouncing. You hear a thump, 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 bonk, bonk, bonk. Something is bonking against the door into your barracks chamber. It had like a soft thud, and then just this consistent like once a second bonk.
Open the door, trying to figure out who's knocking on the door.
Okay. You open the door and you look out. You don't see anybody until you look down and you see a potato resting on the ground with a note pinned onto it that just says, "Dinner's ready."
I feel like this has Mia written all over it.
The animated potato
Alright.
bounces a couple times into you.
Okay, I grab it and like tap it. Okay. Hey Sid, the dinner's ready.
There are a
Great,
ton
great.
of them.
We just hit a really good checkpoint with Zerth here. He's definitely got it within him.
I leave for the dinner.
Aerith walks out. 10 potatoes. You follow the pack of potatoes as they thump their way through the hallway, down as you get closer and
Gesundheit.
closer to the cafeteria. The smell of cooked meats and potatoes and vegetables begins to waft out as it is now dinner time. It's still a little bit earlier than, it's not like everything's ready to go right now, but it's kind of a like, hey, we're pretty much ready. If you wanted to get here before our guests arrive, now's the time. And as you head in and sit down within the cafeteria, you are shown to seats around the tables that have kind of been pushed together to make this big, long banquet hall type table with about, because you guys kept inviting people, 24 seats? I don't know. We'll assume that that's the right amount. Bunch of seats laid out around it. There are plates with salads already out, glasses with water that have been set up, so it's kind of like you can show up and start not eating, but like picking at things as you're waiting for the others to arrive. And as you guys sit down, the various members of the aristocracy here in Erebor arrive. Lorena, Manon, and Rhodey take their seats around the table, and I think dinner is going to be a great place for us to pick up next session.
Yeah, we got through it safely. We got everybody. I was worried whenever Lorena was like, I don't know. I thought we were gonna have to like convince her to put up with a bunch of us strangers since Ken and Aerith weren't there initially, but this worked out so much better.
She has a little bit more of a rapport with Ken.
Right, actually go find somebody who knows her.
Yeah. And Takashi will hopefully be able to join us once again next week, and got a new artificer in the works here in the guild hall.
You must be so
Yeah.
proud.
None of us.
And you got to seed his new character into the lore.
I did. I retconned out another character that is deep within the 5e lore, like the Forgotten Realms lore. He actually shows up in Baldur's Gate 3, and I went, "You don't exist anymore. You're now this person."
Hell yeah.
Because our story is ours. This is the grim Forgotten Realms. The Grim Sword Coast.
Grim Forgotten Realms.
Hey, that's what they're called. They're the Forgotten Realms.
Grim Faerun.
Grim Faerun. Grim Toril. I like Grim Toril. You guys gotta let me know. You don't need to let me know out of game. You can decide in game, and I can prep. I've got at least the starts ready for both paths so that we can narratively get you, but just so that I can get dungeons ready and bosses.
Where the fuck are we going?
Are you going through the Underdark or Icewind Dale?
That's a really good question,
It's
and
like-
we'll probably wait for that until later.
You have Icewind Dale, where Oni walked by a massive, quote-unquote, city underground, but couldn't investigate it. And then you've got the Underdark, where Illithid are. So,
Nope.
it's up to you which one's...
Both,
Hey,
both will be fun.
Yeah. You
yeah,
know.
it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Well, here, how about this? We'll make this really fun for Cade. We'll split the party and each half will go one of the... Nothing could go wrong.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna like, we'll go one way, and then as soon as we get to the exit on that side, we'll double back, and then we'll do the other way,
Go the
because
other way.
that's what I do in Baldur's Gate 3! I have to know what lies down both paths, guys. I have to know. Heck yeah. Oh man, poor
Oh
Pretend.
man, that made my heart feel good. You know, talking to the newbies.
Yeah.
After
yeah.
getting yelled at by your brother.
He
Basically, not yelled at, but like a concerned, like, hey, what the fuck's going on? And then that make him like, oh shit, this is happening.
Where's our sister? The last I heard, she was going to your place for the weekend, and we haven't heard from her in a week.
And
What
she
the
didn't
hell?
come back.
Every time because like he didn't have enough words in Ascending to say like every time we try to send Tasmakella, we get reverberations back, and it hurts our brains. All he could say was that it failed, but the fact that it fails every time, like sending shouldn't fail every time, even between the planes. He's a bit concerned, mostly for her, like, and how to move forward, because they can't really go into the Dales. But
God damn it.
it's been hard to pursue things into. They're creatures of magic. It's kind of hard when you're in the place of pure elemental chaotic magic. Yeah.
You get to get on the backs of giant worlds.
Yeah. I'm sure it'll be fine. Ooh, boy.
I gotta go check the lottery.
Hell yeah. I bought a $5 scratcher when I was at the grocery store yesterday, and I won $5.
Hey.
Yeah.
It's about as good as we ever do.
I know, right?
I'm at the lottery in 14.
Oh. Tomato, tomato.
It's basically you can get scratch off tickets on 14 also.
Was it one of the dog ones? I like the dog ones.
No, they have a new one that's like
Ooh.
Halloween themed. So this was a Frankenstein one. That's why I got it, because I was like, oh, that looks fun. It's just a scratcher, like a number match.
Yeah, not one of the fun ones. I want them to make a new game.
Right. Oh